Well, welcome in, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. We jumped right over Wednesday, and we are here on a Thursday morning, a victory Thursday morning. It's been a while since we have seen a San Diego Padres victory, but victories were abound yesterday as the Ben and Woods crew here pulled it off, the Ben and Woods Open, and we will tell you all the funny and interesting stories from that day, certainly, but it's great to be back here with you. That's a lie. I would rather be asleep right now. I think most of us would. I just lied right to your face. We're a little cooked. I'll be completely honest with all of you. We are a little bit cooked and sun-baked, certainly. I'm Woodsy. That is Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie. 100%, man.
Dude.
Ooh, that was, was a long one.
Driving in, sitting here for the last hour, it's been hard to even keep my eyes open.
It's a tough one. It was a tough morning. And the good news is we have like an 18-hour day ahead of us. So that's fine. We'll get into all of that. Benjamin Higgins maybe has the worst day ahead of him of all of us. He is your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning, Benjamin.
Yeah, a little overcooked, I don't think quite describes it. I'm tough, gray, chewy, like all the way well done plus at this point. But.
Yeah, I got that thing that you get when you're out in the sun all day. It's sapped every bit of energy from you.
Kills you.
And it just kills you. And then, chatting with all the tier ones yesterday, number one, I mean, it was amazing. Like, the crowd that came out to Goat Hill Park yesterday, both flights, we had an 8 a.m. shotgun start and then a 1 p.m. shotgun start. It was bananas. A great time was had by all. We raised a lot of money for charity, and that's always a good thing. And I did leave there feeling very satiated, very satisfied. Satiated probably because I had a half dozen VG's donuts throughout the day. Yeah, I spaced them out. I'm not a glutton. I started at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it went till 6 o'clock at night. So I spaced out the half dozen donuts I ate. When they're there, I'm going to eat them. And they just sat there, and I way overshot on the donuts, but I think I put down 6.
I only had one donut, but that's because I wasn't sitting around the donuts.
Correct.
I spent about 8 to 9 hours on the same tee box.
He's got it. If you're watching on YouTube right now.
I was on Ben's glory hole.
Yeah.
Paulie made a nice sign with my face and a
Just unbelievable.
big black circle where my mouth normally would be.
Yep.
And we gave away tons of Chrome Tour golf balls and had a really good time, but I was not around the donuts. So I did have an unbelievable bratwurst from Goat Hill Park. We had some Jersey Mike sandwiches. There was a lot of food to be had.
Yeah, there was.
A lot of beverages to be had from Virgin Beer.
Let's do an alcohol count because people may be going, oh, you guys had a golf tournament. I bet you got hammered. How much alcohol did you consume yesterday, Paulie?
I had one shot of Fireball with the crew.
As did I. One shot of Fireball all day long. Benjamin, that's it.
I had 2 beers and then one shot of Don Julio from one of the groups that was coming through.
Are you an alcoholic?
You have a problem?
Do you have a problem?
I don't think so.
2 beers and a shot of Don Julio.
Yes.
Jeez.
Now I know why Ben was late.
Now I know why you feel like ass, right? Look at you. You look like hammered ass right now, dude. Look at you. Yeah, of course. Man, I gotta, obviously we need to shout out a bunch of people. That's boring radio, as we've heard before. Our buddy Daimio called in and did some shout outs one day.
Shout out SD.
But I do have to shout out Mailman Rob, who's one of our tier ones. This SOB sent me about a week ago, hey, I saw this on Twitter. This would be fun for the Ben Woods Open. And it was called the Heckle Hole. And I went, well, what bet? We already have a glory hole. Might as well have a heckle hole. So on the 10th tee box, chairs were set up, and you had the ability to heckle there. We weren't going to have hecklers there like that we planted, or it wasn't going to be me all day. But if you wanted to heckle somebody, that was the hole. Morning flight kind of went off without a hitch. I started on a couple holes and whatever. We had work to do. Boy, by the afternoon, all the people that played in the morning that were hammered came over to the heckle hole to heckle all the people that teed off in the afternoon. It was unreal. So thank you, Mailman Rob, for your idea. Also, thank you, Mailman Rob, for being basically like the mailman Jeffrey Ross. Like, he had the best insults I've ever heard in my life. And I thought to myself, if we ever do a Ben and Woods roast, which is definitely in the cards, you're in it. Like, you are 100% in it. You're a featured performer. And he's a mailman for a living. And I'm like, I think you missed your calling. There was a guy that played. So there was one guy he had a green shirt on. He had green shoes on. So as he was walking up, Mailman Rob goes, You look like a John Deere. And I was like, it laid me out. It laid me out. Then a guy comes up in a yellow collared shirt, and he's like, hey, did you just win the Tour de France? And I was done. I mean, he was roasting these dudes yesterday. It was so much fun. Just a great, great day. So great job, Mailman Rob. It was amazing.
The best moment for me, the heckle hole, the 10th tee also overlooked the 9th green, which was Ben's glory hole. Best shot of the day was the group that hit it to about 3.5 feet. But as they missed their first putt, the hecklers started noticing, and as they chanted, Rory, Rory, they proceeded to each miss the same putt.
Oh, they were
four
so
times
mad.
in a row to not get the birdie. One of them lipped out hard. I could see all the way from the tee box.
He was so mad.
How hard it lipped out, and they did not. They had the best shot of the day, 4 chances at a short birdie putt, and all of them pulled the Rory McIlroy. As the Rory chants were echoing throughout Goat Hill Park. People thought it sounded like a Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Down, they could hear it, 5 holes away, people chanting and screaming.
It was incredible. Everyone was really on their best behavior. I mean, we did have one cart flip. Somebody did roll their cart. Now, they're okay. They're fine. The cart's okay. And it wasn't like a drunken, woo, down a hill. He was taking a turn, and it hit the railroad tie, which... Bro, it's tight there. It's really tight.
That's the dirt path, so there's a little sliding there. I've slid on that path as well.
So it flipped. So that was. I'm glad everyone's okay. I'm really glad the cart's all right. 'Cause it lay out. God knows
they're new. They're nice. Yeah.
So I was. That's we haven't gotten a bill or anything yet. Still may be to come. But it didn't happen yet. But honestly, everyone was on their best behavior. We had such a great time, and look. People were asking me yesterday, when's the next one? I go, if you don't bring it up to me today. Ask me in a couple weeks. But it was a really good time. But I am fried. I mean, I'm just as cooked to the core as I can be. Got home last night, jumped right in the shower. The boys were pretty wiped yesterday. They were busy. And then I was asleep by 8 o'clock. I mean, I just passed out, was done, dead to the world. Pretty cool moment yesterday, though. In between flights, watching the end of the Padre game, you had the people that teed off at 8, the people that were getting ready to tee off at 1, and the whole crew is just huddled around the TV watching the end of the baseball game. Padres do win that game, and the place goes crazy. This town, again, we've said it a billion times, this town deserves a winner, straight up. They deserve a winner. People are into it. A lot of people wanted to talk Padres baseball with us yesterday. It was awesome, man. My heart is very full after getting to spend a day with you guys who both crushed it yesterday. And thanks to Adam Klug, our boss. Now, we did this tournament on our own. This was a DIY event for us. And Adam came out and really gave us a lot of good man hours yesterday and couldn't have done it without him. One of our sales girls, Carly, brought Better Buzz coffee out for everyone. That was really special. So we do appreciate that. But today's a huge day for the Ben and Woods program. So we're going to do the 4-hour radio show. And then after, we're going to do the roundtable. Ben and I will. And then after the roundtable, we're going to kill about 2:45, right?
Correct.
And then our CEO is coming to town. And I'd just like to, he's going to do like the town hall meeting. So we're looking down the barrel of at least an hour. I would say at least an hour at a bare minimum. And I would like to put this out there for anyone that's going to be in that meeting. And I know that's a small window of people who may be listening. If you ask one superfluous question, I'm going to beat you down.
What's a superfluous question?
Any question.
Well,
any.
Sometimes there has to be one or two, or it gets awkward if there's just none at all.
There doesn't.
You don't think so?
No.
It's like one or two quick ones just to kind of, all right, everyone feels good about it and we can actually leave.
No, and the biggest offender, I found out this morning, is in Nashville. So he's out of town. Now, the last meeting we did, he was the
probably
offender.
a 20-minute meeting.
Yeah,
that
it
got
went an
extended
hour.
to about an hour.
Hey, can you just go over again the Q3 numbers again? Bro, shut up. Shut up.
Get the slides later.
Grab him after the meeting and pull him aside. If you ask a question today, you're dead. You're dead. There's nothing you need to know.
I don't care if we all get fired and he tells us that he killed every one of our dogs. All right.
Don't
Sounds
ask
good.
a question.
I have no questions.
Can I leave now? Here's my key card. Don't ask any questions today. That goes for you, Ben. It goes for you, Paul. It goes for me, myself.
But I have a couple of questions.
Do not ask one question.
They're probably not good questions. I want to know, where does the CEO stay when he comes to town? Is he at the
If you ask
Hilton
that
Garden
question,
Inn
I
kill you.
will
down
throw
the
you
street,
out
or do they
sixth-floor
put him up
window.
somewhere really nice? Is he at
I would imagine a CEO.
the Grand Del Mar or something? Where does the CEO get to stay when he visits our station?
I'm telling you, man. Everybody that has ever worked in an office, ever, has that person in that meeting that is just the kiss ass.
How much do you make, actually? I'm
Once.
curious.
What was your bonus? Hey, did you? Oh, that's right. You don't actually get ratings. Okay. What was your bonus last year? That's an interesting question. If you have the balls to ask that question, I won't beat you down for that. But I just think, per diem question. What is your per diem?
Oh, wow, yeah.
What if about $3,000? You're a CEO? And I always think, what if I was a CEO? CEOs, I'm never going to say they get a bad rap. But, they're the ones, they get roasted because it all comes out.
Michelin star restaurants only.
Yeah. And it all comes out down the road. If I'm a CEO, I'm like, hey, man, I've worked really hard to be a CEO. But I also like to think that I would be a very generous CEO as well. There was a company I saw in Japan recently. It was like a Japanese airline. And they made a ton of money last year, a ton. And the CEO gave out massive, massive bonuses. And I was like, that's what I'd like to think that I would do. Like, take care, because again, those people are now stoked to come and work for you. The more you give, the more you get. That's how I've always looked at it. So I'm interested in seeing what he has to say, but not so interested that I have to pepper him with questions just so that he's like, oh, I like that guy. Like, I'm already doing my job here on the Ben and Wood Show. My job, I'm doing it. We're doing it well. Don't ask any questions. I'm begging you guys at this meeting today. So. The vending machine, yeah, Wesley, you're right. How can we get a better vending machine in the break room?
I don't know if that's a CEO topic, really.
Hey, we already are.
Yeah, I think we are already. But no, so it's going to be a long day. Now you got to go work Channel 10.
Yeah, then I got to go work tonight as well. So I've got the 17, 18-hour day.
I love you.
All the way through.
I love you, and I'm sorry.
Then tomorrow morning I'll be here. We'll talk to Mike Shildt, and then I'm going to crash Fridays
For
just
like 6 hours.
rest of the day. Crash.
Please do nothing after the show.
Right.
Don't play golf.
No, I'm not playing golf tomorrow.
Go home,
I'm
get in
crashing
bed.
tomorrow.
Okay. Just get a sandwich and go home and cuddle up next to it and just get some rest. Yeah, man. So we had a great day, and thanks if you came out yesterday. We really appreciate it, man. It was I do see people that were there in the chat right now. So I didn't see anybody out of control. I didn't see anybody acting a fool. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I'm just really appreciative of the support that our show has gotten.
The sentiment was bring it back to Goat Hill again next year.
Yeah.
And at least from when I spoke with John Ashworth, the caretaker at Goat Hill, I think he would love that if we came back again next year.
It was awesome.
It was a really, really great day. So thank you to everyone who helped out.
It was awesome. I'm trying to think if there's any stories that we had to share that were good. We did blow the first prize.
We announced the winner of the first flight.
And then miraculously...
Bro, it was like the Oscars a few years ago when they said, Moonlight has won Best Picture. They start walking up on stage. Actually,
no.
we're just kidding.
We had
It's
already
not-
handed out the cups and the
Oh, God.
trophies, and we had to actually physically take them away
Yeah.
from Andy Perino's team.
Andy, I'm so sorry if you're listening. You're probably not. You're probably listening to a competitor right now because of what happened to you yesterday. I'm sorry. I love you. But yeah, I mean, we got all the cards in. We thought, and we announced the winner. And the guy, and then of course,
11 under.
Wait. I'm like, well, where's your card? You got to turn your card in. Hang on.
Took
And
them 5 minutes.
5 minutes to go get it. They brought it back. I'm like, oh no. All right, well, actually, here you're the winner. And then they got mad because people were yelling, Bullets! And I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Pretty much just like every other scramble that's ever been played before.
No one has ever believed your scramble
No,
score. Ever.
never.
And they never will. You might as well just cheat and go for it.
Right.
I was in one where the winning score was 20 under. I'm going, so you birdied every hole except the two that you eagled. Fantastic.
You were in the scramble?
Yes.
You weren't in the foursome.
I wasn't in that foursome. 20
What,
under.
you guys shoot like
20,
like 14?
I mean, it
or
wasn't the
something?
hard course. Yeah, we were around 14. Like you didn't make one mistake all day
All
long.
day. Yeah. We all four had the round of our lives. Go figure. Made every putt. Well, listen, man. It was a great day. I'm very appreciative of the tier ones out there, and all the support that we get. And even if you didn't come yesterday, you're in the chat right now. You support this radio show. Can't thank you enough. So big day for us. Ben will set the menu next. And I'll ask just one small favor. Just be a little gentle with your old pals Ben and Woods and Paulie today.
Set the menu, and I believe, since it's we were off yesterday, we're going to find Jesse's Incorporator from Tuesday. Kanji.
He did it.
It's a rice porridge, and how he worked that into Tuesday's game against the Phillies. We'll do that when we come back on a Thursday morning. Glad that we made it, and glad that you've made it as well. With Ben and Woods, let's check traffic right now on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Anytime you take a day off, you got to catch up on all the things you missed. Yesterday, when we were doing our golf tournament and everyone had the day off here at Odyssey, including paying off our incorporator. So let's get right to that here early this morning with Ben and Woods. On Tuesday, we had Jesse Aguilar, the voice of the Padres, on, as he does each and every Tuesday. We give him a different vocabulary word to work into the broadcast. Here's what we set him up for this week. So what I want to do is I want to go back to our roots. And our very first incorporator word was a food word.
Yeah, mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah.
So we're going back to our roots with a food word.
Mustard.
For tonight's. No, it's not exactly a condiment. It's a little tough.
Relish.
It's a little tougher than that. Paulie, if you would please.
Cracker Jack.
Congee.
Congee?
Congee.
What is that?
Congee. It's a form of savory rice porridge that you get by boiling rice in a large amount of water until the rice softens. It's often served Asia, like China's the breakfast food with
a bowl of rice.
It's a bowl of very wet, mushy rice. Congee.
Sounds so good. Congee.
Yeah. Paulie knows this because he goes to Vegas a lot. If you look on the room service menus, because they have a large Asian clientele, you always see congee on the breakfast menu.
Do you? I've never
room service
noticed.
in the big
I
hotels.
knew it was
Yeah.
familiar when you
Yeah.
said that word. I didn't know exactly what it
And
was.
I've never ordered it. I've always been kind of curious. Like, okay, you can get it with pickled herring and meat for breakfast. I'm going, that does not sound good. I want French toast, not
the taste of pickled fish in rice sounds as good as it does
seaweed
sound.
in there.
I'm going to go with a couple eggs over medium.
Yeah, not
bacon,
my breakfast
orange
choice.
juice, coffee, and some
But
French
in other
toast.
parts of the world, a very common breakfast item. Now, how does Jesse get that into Tuesday night's
This
game
one
against the
was late.
Phillies?
Late on Tuesday night.
I get the sense he's over the incorporator.
Maybe.
He skipped to the last one and waited until the ninth.
Yeah,
on
top of the
this
ninth
one.
inning.
And Cronenworth swings and misses at a ball in the dirt, strike three. So 1 out in the top of the ninth inning. So we got a guy out there with an 0.89 ERA out of the bullpen. I imagine as a hitter, it can just turn your brain into congee as you try and figure out what he's going to do. Profar will get into the left-handed batter's box.
I love it.
1 out and nobody on.
He didn't do the literal version.
No.
He did the metaphorical version
it.
of it. That's brilliant.
Like a wet, mushy mess when you got to face a tough reliever.
One might say that you have 3 congee heads sitting in here this morning.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, at that time they were winning that game on Tuesday in the top of the ninth inning.
That's right.
Didn't turn out so well for your San Diego Padres.
Now we have to do the recap of that game as well.
We do.
It was ugly. It was terrible.
We will do both games. We'll have our Padres wrap-up from yesterday's win, obviously coming up here at the bottom of the hour. And then in our 7 o'clock hour, we will tell you a little bit, because it happened while we were gone, but you've probably seen it by now, the John Boy video of Mike Shildt getting ejected, or more or less politely asking to be ejected after Manny got tossed from Sunday's game against the New York Mets. A lot of people talking about, just the cynicism a little bit of asking to be ejected and not necessarily losing your mind at the umpire, but just, perfunctorily going and getting ejected from the game because you felt like you had to.
Every day that we get to cover Mike Shildt, the more and more he reminds me of you. Every day. He is Country Ben. He's Country Ben.
That's how I would
exactly
be ejected
how
in a
Ben-
game. If I had to be ejected, I would go up there
Country Ben.
very politely, very respectfully, but
I respect you.
I
but
respect you, but I need to be ejected here.
Please eject me.
The umpire really wasn't necessarily into it. He felt like you need to do something to,
Come on,
to be
you gave him
ejected.
4 chances.
I can't. I'd not be doing my job correctly if I simply ejected you for being polite. You're
Right.
not doing anything wrong. I shouldn't eject you for that. You need to give me something to work with here.
It is interesting, and we will talk about it. I get a lot if something happens in either baseball, but especially the with the Padres. I get reams of DMs about it, like I haven't seen it. Number one, and I have. So again, if you feel like I think Woodsy would like this, the chances are about 99%. I've seen it already. Doesn't mean I don't want you to send it to me. Lie. It's the second lie of the day. I've seen it. I think this is number one in the 6 years we've been together. That's the number one thing I was DM'd on Twitter and Instagram the most. And I would say in the dozens of people sent. Did you see this? Yeah. Wow, I can't wait to hear you guys talk about it.
That's not even the what did you think about this? It's did you see it?
Yeah, did you see this? Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course I saw it. It's everywhere. And
We're
everyone's
aware of
talking
most
about it.
Padre-related things that are going on.
Yeah, man. So people. I'm interested to talk about it because I reached out to people and I wanted to get what they thought. And people solicited, gave me their opinions on it as well. It was interesting. It's an interesting thing that he did. I will say, just before we do it at 7, I've seen it before. I've seen this bit before, and it is a bit, straight up. So we will talk about it. It's interesting. We can take your calls on it. Sorry, Brandon says, I feel cliche for sending it to you. No, you're not the only one, Brandon. You're good. Keep them coming.
It's a real or fake Thursday, a chance to qualify for the trip to the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, where I'd imagine you can order congee off the room service breakfast menu. We'll do that at 7:10. Don't do this at 7:20. At 7:35, we'll have our Wednesday guest, Adam Jones, join us. And I know Adam was talking about Willie Mays on his podcast this week. That obviously happened on Tuesday. Giant story in the world of baseball that we need to get to and talk about today as well. In our 8:35 segment, we'll have our regular Thursday guest, Eno Sarris from The Athletic, for Weekly Smart Baseball, brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, which we always love. Reindl Report at 9 o'clock. We have more Doobie Brothers tickets to give away. Let's play the sounder for your chance to win Doobie Brothers tickets.
1 second.
You will have an opportunity to win if you call 833-288-0973 when you hear.
Not now, though.
The Doobie Brothers. Not now. This is the tester.
But a fool believes.
There it is. All week long. Our Doobie Brothers sounder for a chance to win tickets on the show sometime today. And, of course, got a homestand starting tonight. No day off for your San Diego Padres. They're right back in action against another first-place ball club is the Milwaukee Brewers. Come to town, and we'll look ahead to that series and then lead right into a roundtable for another hour of commercial-free Padres talk at 10 a.m.
Hell yeah.
And then we all collapse for a couple of hours before the CEO arrives for his meeting with the staff.
And the CEO's in town.
Listen.
Is he listening right now?
Oh boy, I hope not. This is not, David. If you're listening, this is not indicative of what you normally get. All right. Give us
I
some
just
breather.
thought about that.
We just did a golf tournament.
Like,
yesterday.
he's in town. He's listening. He's
He
going to
probably
sample
is.
all
He's
of the
sampling
Odyssey
all the
stations.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe he's
No.
listening to John and Tammy right now.
I hope so. I hope so. I really do. I really, really hope he is. So sorry.
All right, we'll get to our Padres wrap-up. We got highlights from yesterday's. It was nice to at least get one on the road trip. We will talk about it coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
We can hang the didn't get swept banner this morning. I got one.
Does Adam have to eat any didn't get swept beans this morning or anything?
I think the bean bit's done.
You had beans yesterday at the golf tournament. They never even got brought out.
Forgot to break them out. I spilled them early, and I looked at them, and I go, I don't want this. And just threw them away. It's like $20 down the drain. Don't care.
Miss a Green, eat a bean never happened.
Miss a Green, eat a bean never happened. Thank God, because I didn't want to see anybody throw up out there.
Fair enough.
But we did not get swept, so we will hang the we did not get swept banner today.
Well, only got swept once on the road trip banner.
Right. Didn't get swept in the second series of a very awful road trip banner. I've got one of those, so I'm going to have to dig that one out. But, 1 and 5 on a road trip. It's not ideal. It's not ideal at all, but I guess it's better than 0 and 6.
It wasn't the Phillies series. Losing 2 out of 3 to the Phillies on the road.
Right.
Not a crime at all. It was the Mets series.
That
was the problem,
obviously. It was nice to get one in the House of Horrors.
Bro, you win 2 out of 3 against the Mets like you should.
Yes.
You go 3 and 3, nobody's mad about that road
100%.
trip.
Coming home 500 on that is like, all right, very good.
I mean, especially if you drop 2 out of 3 to Philly, we get it. On the road.
Of course.
You also
should have won.
Should have
won.
Yeah. Should have won too.
You actually could have won 2 of them.
Yep, no doubt.
Yeah, and the Mets were in a streak where they won 7 in a row until yesterday. It finally ended. So maybe one of those situations where running into the wrong team at the wrong time. However, now they just got to pick up the pieces as they come home to face the Milwaukee Brewers tonight. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the San Diego County Fair. Let's go retro at the San Diego County Fair now through July 7th. The magic of the Midway live concerts and a nostalgic celebration of fashion, culture, and more. Buy your tickets now online. Learn more on what's happening at sdfair.com. That's sdfair.com. We'll have our Padres wrap-up highlights from yesterday's 5-2 win over the Phillies right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the Fish Market, serving the freshest catches from waters near, far, and everywhere in between. Looks like a tow truck's going to be needed to clear this crash on westbound 52 right at the 15 connector ramp. Fortunately, looking pretty quiet elsewhere around the county so far this morning. Skip the fried food this year and grab some healthy, fresh catch at the Fish Market. So good. The Fish Market off the 5 next to the Del Mar Fairgrounds and downtown on North Harbor Drive. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Yeah!
Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
This one hit in the air to right field, straight away and deep. Castellanos is back at the wall. He's looking up, gonna go! Home run, Jackson Merrill. Got him in the air again, and this is home run number 8 for the Padres center fielder. Odds take a 1-0 lead here in the second. Here's Bryce Harper with 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the third. Swings to the first pitch, sends it in the air to left field and deep. Profar's back at the wall. He will watch. It will go. Home run, Bryce Harper, and a 1-1 game here in the third inning. 1-2 to Arise. Swung on, lined into right field, and down for a base hit. Merrill has scored. Wade's on his way to third, and Luis Arise has given the Padres the lead. An RBI single here in the 7th inning. It's 2-1. 2-2 to Schwarber. Waldron deals, and a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Matt Waldron, a 1-2-3 7th inning, his 6th strikeout of the day, and will head to the 8th in Philadelphia. A 1 pitch kind of served into shallow center field. Marsh is charging, dives forward, can't make the catch, and it gets behind him. Azokar and Machado have scored. Kim is on his way. Higashioka into third with a 3-run hit, and the Padres lead it 5-1 here in the 8th. Harper swings, hits it in the air, deep down the right field line, hooking towards the pole. That is a fair ball and a home run. Bryce Harper, second of the day. Don't go anywhere. It's now 5-2. 2-2, the pitch. Dahl swings. It's a slow roller to the right side. Wade has got it. Slings it to first in time. A 1-2-3. Bottom of the ninth for Robert Suarez. And the ball game is over. Padres snapped the skid at 5 games. They beat the Phillies here this afternoon 5-2. And the long flight home to San Diego tonight will be
really nice, especially the rebound. It's nice for a lot of reasons. I mean, clearly, we haven't been able to shake hands as much as we like on this road trip. Then last night, scratch and call and good back and forth ball game, grab a lead. And, they got a good club, clearly, maybe the best club in baseball. And, they came back and we had a quick turnaround after a tough one last night. And I just loved the fact from the very first at bat. I mean, of course, they go out and make a nice play in center, but, boom, it's a rope to center and guys are taking good at bats all over the park. And you just know they're going to fight. And that's got asked the other day about, my confidence level in this club, and it's high because of the character of the club and the way they compete. So, but that being said, it's a result league, and today we were able to figure out a way to be consistent and get the results at the very end of the game.
Padres get that win. The moment when Kyle Higashioka hit the 3-run bases clearing triple, we were all right there at the watching on TV at Goat Hill Park, and everyone just went crazy.
It was awesome.
Looked like Marsh might catch it there.
Yeah.
It was very close, and when it got by, everyone I think it was more of a big sigh of relief. In addition to the excitement of scoring all the runs, all right, a little bit of a cushion after what happened, obviously, on Tuesday in Game 2 of the series. You didn't necessarily want to see a 1-run lead going into the last 2 innings against this Phillies lineup, and they did, of course, get another Bryce Harper home run off Jeremiah Estrada, but this time it wasn't enough, and it was good to see Robert Suarez go back and get a save one day after blowing his first save of the year, even if it was just one of those, up by 3 saves that aren't quite as valuable as the 1-run.
Boy, those
versions.
count. No, they count. You're able to scratch out a win on the road against, again, one of the best pitchers in baseball in Ranger Suarez. I mean, you want to talk about a game going into it. You've lost 2 straight, and you go, all right, Ranger Suarez on the bump. He's lost 1 time this season. His ERA is minuscule. This is not going to end well for our San Diego Padres. And when the Phillies loaded the bases, you just thought, that's it. All right, this is going to be a very quick one. Pods are going to roll over for this one. Matt Waldron gets out of it. Then Jackson Merrill, another home run off a really tough left-handed pitcher. Yeah, man, it was pretty special. And listen, just one win, it does not mean much in the grand scheme of things, but it's sure better than losing every stinking game on a road trip. And big hit for Higgy, which I loved. A little concerned about Jeremiah Estrada. Has not been great lately, giving up the long ball. Benny, ERA is kind of ballooned up for him. His last 7 outings, he's got an ERA over 11.
Ever since he got sick.
That's exactly right.
He's been a different pitcher.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has anything to do with that, but he was great. He was perfect, essentially, before he got sick, and now he's struggled since his illness.
But, let's call it what it is. Matt Waldron, we are a dead man. We are dead men walking without Matt Waldron on this team. If you had told me the first guy to throw 5 straight quality starts in 2024, you have to bet good money on it. It wouldn't have been him. Would not have been him. And that's exactly what he's done. He has been outstanding this year, Ben. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks for Matty Waldron. The player to be named later in the Mike Clevenger deal. What a great find.
Couple of fascinating nuggets on Waldron from the game yesterday. Did you see the video where the Phillies were signaling from second base when a knuckleball was coming? It was pretty clear.
Arm out. Yeah.
It's pretty clear what they were doing after it was pointed out on social media that when they had a runner at second, the guy could see enough into the glove of his grip that he would put his arm out and hold it straight to the side if a knuckleball was coming. So, and if he didn't, then it would be one of his other pitches. Obviously, it could be a fastball, a four-seamer, or it could be the sweeper or something. But the Phillies, when there was a runner at second, they knew when a knuckleball was coming, and they still couldn't hit it. That's how good that pitch has become for Matt Waldron. There was a video this week that came out from Jazz Chisholm, who, of course, faced Waldron when the Miami Marlins were in town, and he said it's the best pitch in baseball right now. It's the hardest pitch to hit in baseball. You have no idea what to do as a batter when you're up there, and that knuckleball is coming. And I've got to imagine that these details filter their way to Matt Waldron and have to just instill him with a great deal of confidence. He should already have a ton of it, but to know what major leaguers think about your pitch and that they're talking about it with reverence at this point, going, it's as hard a pitch that there is to hit in baseball. All the nasty stuff out there right now, and Waldron's knuckler is in there with the best pitches in baseball at the moment.
Here's Jazz Chisholm. If you missed it, it's quick. It's so funny.
I just faced this man named Waldron, and he threw a knuckleball.
Brother, come on. And listen.
What was that knuckleball like, though?
Oh, deadly. I tell you, that's probably the best pitch I've ever seen in baseball.
Legit.
Wow.
His knuckle?
Ever. The knuckle.
Ever.
I've never hit. It's going everywhere. Go that way, that way, that way. We were losing, and I came back to the dugout and I said, bro, I can't be mad. The thing is going everywhere. It was a good pitch.
Just got to tip your cap.
Yeah, you got that one.
It's nice that other teams have to tip their caps to the Padres sometimes. I remember Jazz in that series against Matt Waldron and how absolutely lost.
Flummoxed by it.
He looked. But no, Matt Waldron has been absolutely terrific this year. And if he can keep it going, they need it because the pitching remains very thin. Yu Darvish did have his rehab start yesterday. He gave up a bunch of 6 runs, but he felt good coming out of it and said he's ready to come back. So I imagine we will see Yu Darvish now in the second half of this homestand back in the Padres rotation. They'll need him to pitch like he was before he went on the injured list because it just hasn't been going well for the bottom couple of spots in the rotation with Randy Vasquez and Adam Azier, who gets at least one more start tonight against the Milwaukee Brewers, Woods. And got to feel like, cross your fingers, because it hasn't gone well the last couple of starts.
You got to feel like for him, he could go out and shove tonight and go 6 scoreless. He's probably still not. He's probably going down with you coming back. I mean, that's the move. Yeah, I mean, it's so. Go out there and let it eat tonight. Let it all hang out, and basically what you're doing with most rookie pitchers.
It's almost freeing to know no matter what I do, I'm going out of the minors
I'm
again.
out of here.
So,
yeah, go out there and shove, and something to build on. You got some big league starts under your belt. One of them went pretty well. The other ones didn't. But for Major tonight, it's just don't walk these guys. If they beat you, they beat you. Like if they hit you, they hit you. You can't walk 6 guys tonight and pray for a double play.
Challenge them a little bit. You don't have to lay them in there, but challenge
them. Like, do not give them any freebies tonight if you're Major. That's if I'm Niebla, that's the first. Bro, you're going down. You know you're going down. We need you to go out there and shove tonight. Do as best as you can. But don't give up any freebies to these guys. If they pound you, they pound you. It's going to happen. You're taking your lumps at the big league level. But yeah, man, it'll be nice to have you back. You tweeted last night, and I couldn't agree more with you, Ben. The spread that Yu Darvish provided to the minor leaguers.
The spread is the food spread, not as the odds on the game. The spread.
Correct.
The post-game spread.
The post-game spread. I love the bit so much. It's one of my favorite parts about baseball. Star, wealthy player, has to go out and work some stuff out in the minors, whatever, rehab start, and takes care of the kids down there. Those kids will never forget. And many of those kids that play in Fort Wayne, they'll never sniff the big leagues. But they got to hang out with Yu Darvish and eat the food that he provided way better than the post-game spread.
That was a nice. They had a bunch of different stuff. I saw some salmon and asparagus for the healthy eaters.
Mac and cheese.
There was also some mac and cheese for little treats.
Woods.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. I just put myself
dessert,
in that
little
category.
mini cakes for dessert. It was nice. It was very nicely catered by Yu Darvish for the Fort Wayne Tin Caps.
I love that bit. I love it. I think it's such a good thing that they do. I heard some stories about when A-Rod got sent down. He bought all the guys like new suits, like a couple of the players like new suits and stuff, takes them all out to dinner. I love that. I think it's so great. We don't have that in radio. Like we're sending Woodsy down to Wichita for a week. He's got to get his pipes back. And I go in, I get the guys like all new headphones and stuff. Like radio, send you down to the minors a little bit.
We're talking Wichita Shockers basketball here today. I'm Woods, down for a day or two, on a rehab assignment.
Fixing my pipes up. I got, new headphones for all the guys, and it's great. I think it's a really good bit. I don't want to get sent down, but if I need to get better, I will. But I'll make sure to take care of the youngsters out there in Wichita.
Speaking of rehab, has there been an update on Joe Musgrove in the last week, 2 weeks?
He was supposed to be throwing on the back half of this road trip just to kind of see where he's at, but I have not heard how it went.
The less I hear about him, the more nervous I get.
Then again, maybe hearing about things would be bad news at this point, that he's getting surgery, and we have not heard anything like that. So We'll maybe find out more today when the Padres come back. Just quickly, because we were not here yesterday, I wanted to mention Tuesday's game, which for most of the game I felt like was one of the better Padres games of the season. Going up against Aaron Nola, a guy who has always dominated the Padres and who took a perfect game into the 5th inning. His knuckle curve was nasty.
Nasty, man.
Michael King, who only went 4 2/3 innings, but he battled through 100 pitches to keep the Padres in that game against an ace pitcher. And then Luis Camposano, after getting hit in a very sensitive area a couple innings before, hits the 2-run, go-ahead home run. Padres are up 3-1 going to the 8th. Kyle Schwarber hits the 1 home run, so it's 3-2. But you got Robert Suarez coming in. He's been absolutely perfect all season long and gives up 4 hits as quickly as you can even imagine.
You
boom,
blinked.
boom, 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 and the game was over.
You blinked. I was at Frozen Ropes with Bo for his first Frozen Ropes practice, and I'm watching on my phone. And I looked away for maybe Bo was in the cage. He had 5 swings. And I looked down and it was 1st and 3rd. Just like that. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? And the next thing you know, within a minute and a half after that, game's over.
It's hard to even be mad. Robert Suarez has been so good. Hall of Famers will blow a couple of saves every single year. It was going to happen.
You said it literally like, I'm not kidding. You said it like 6 weeks ago. That first Bob Suarez blown save is really going to hurt. He hasn't done it till the other night, and it did. It stung, especially there where, it's been tough for him. It has. It's been tough for him. And to get that one yesterday, I thought was a good one. But
well, the Phillies obviously are his personal, house of horrors going to Citizens Bank Park.
For
so,
sure.
Hopefully he'll get another opportunity to go to Citizens Bank Park again this year.
Yep.
The only chance for that to happen, obviously, would be in the postseason, and no one's going to complain if the Padres, even if they're massive underdogs, get another chance to face the Philadelphia Phillies in October this year.
It did sting, man, watching it happen. You nailed it, and it's amazing that you said it 6 weeks ago, and it just took till Tuesday night.
Of course,
for
it was
to
Bryce
happen.
Harper who's first up in that inning.
Gets a knock. Yep.
Gets the knock that gets it all started. And that was painful. It definitely, coming back and winning yesterday, felt pretty critical for the Padres. Still an unsuccessful road trip, but 1-5 is a lot better than 0-6.
It is. Well, not a lot better.
It's a little bit better than 0-6.
Yeah.
Emotionally, it's a lot better than 0-6. All right, we'll come back, talk about Mike Shildt and the lip-reading John Boy feature from Sunday, and play a little Real or Fake next on The Fan.
What was the winner score in the morning?
I don't know whether to be flattered or insulted when you call Mike Shildt the country Ben Higgins. But you're not wrong either. I really don't think you're wrong.
It's a compliment, cuz.
It's a compliment, cuz. I actually think that he's even more positive than you would be, right now. And again, it could just be the front-facing Mike Shildt to the media and the press and everything else. Definitely not meant to be an insult, because I don't think that Mike Shildt is doing a terrible job. I don't. I think that, we've had this conversation a billion times. I mean, you know how I feel. It's on the players to win ball games and to execute. And when your number is called, you need to do your job. And if you don't, that's on you and you alone, period. And if you tell your manager, hey, I can go tonight. If you need me, I can go. And you don't get the job done, that's not on your manager. It's on you. So I don't think he's doing a bad job. I didn't think Bob Melvin did a bad job. I didn't necessarily think Jace Tingler did a bad job. I just think that without the so-called skins on the wall in a veteran clubhouse, that's a tough gig for any rookie manager to have to stomach. So when we talk about the last two managers in Bob Melvin and Mike Shildt, I don't think they did a bad job. I think the players didn't execute. And I will always feel that way.
So we're referring to last Sunday when the Padres were playing the Mets. Manny Machado was called out on strikes on a ball that was below the zone and got frustrated.
He got frustrated on an actual strike. And Manny was frustrated because Manny was awful in that series.
I've seen that pitch on different broadcasts. Actually, one had it on as a strike, one had it as a ball. It was a borderline pitch.
Not the out pitch.
Not the out pitch.
The out pitch was down.
That one was down.
The pitch before that he got really upset about. And
took a timeout.
Credit to the pitcher for throwing it in the, pretty much the exact same spot. That's exactly what you want to do.
The out pitch was a ball.
The out pitch was a ball, and Manny, lost it and slammed his bat, and then he got ejected. Now, again, I don't even know that Manny was necessarily frustrated as much at the umpire as he was at himself. And he talked after the game. We haven't hit that yet. Talking about how he sucks right now, basically, is what he said. I'm terrible. I can't get in the slot. I'm hurt. Everything sucks. I'm gonna get there, but it sucks right now.
It's stunning to see Jackson Merrill have 2 more home runs than Manny Machado.
It is.
In about the same number of games played.
Stunning. It's stunning.
But Mike Shildt then went out and did the first thing you have to do as a manager. You go out, you protect your player, you make sure he doesn't do anything that gets him suspended. He's hot. Get your bench coach, come on, pull him away, get him out of here. And then you go to town on the umpire. But he didn't exactly go to town on the umpire. And John Boy, who we've had on and has this skill. It's not a scientific skill, but I think
there's a little
he's pretty good at it.
There's some skill to it. He also has the premium MLB package or whatever that has so many more angles than you see when you're watching it live.
It's also, there's some parts in it I thought were left up to interpretation, but make no bones about it. None.
It's not an exact science, but I got the sense that what he was saying was pretty much how the conversation went between Mike Shildt and the home plate umpire after Manny Machado got ejected. So
eye to eye, I'm going to take my sunglasses off Horatio style, look him in the eye and say, hey, man, I got to get
what you want?
here. I understand, and I respect that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I respect that. You know I gotta go. All right, do what you do. I have to go. That's fine. But you guys are doing...
I think he was trying to get wrong right there, because they always say, hey, as soon as you drop, the F-bomb on an umpire, that's probably
but he didn't get thrown out
you're going to go.
All right, do what you do. I have to go. That's fine. But you guys are doing a good job. You
Come on.
blew that pitch, but I don't want to play your game. It ain't your fault, and it's really hard. But I am frustrated, so send my ass off. So I'm ready whenever. Okay, you ready? Yep. Gone. Oh.
The oh is what kills me.
Gone. Oh.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
I hated every second of it.
I didn't like it necessarily either. I also don't know that it's a huge, massive deal. Is it an indictment against Shildt? I don't know. People feel that way. We just had a quote that said, that's how I imagine you lose a clubhouse with a fake-ass ejection. I don't necessarily. I think if there's one person on the team the one that would understand why he did that, even if Manny Machado went and watched the John Boy video, and I bet he would laugh and be like, I get it. I totally get it. He's been around long enough to know that. You know, we want our manager to be demonstrative. We want our manager to have our players' backs. I think you have to do that. That's in the rule book. Like, if your player's getting into an you got to run out and
do the song and dance.
Do the song and dance. You want
get ejected for real.
Which is the definition though of eyewash.
Fine,
right? And I agree with you.
Because if I'm Manny Machado, I think I would have been pissed.
I don't care if
even though I know
Manny
that he's got to
care.
go out there and do that. He's got to go out and get tossed and have my back and all that. I'm like, wait. You just complimented the umpire that rang me on a ball and then tossed me. You're telling me he did a good job?
You catch more flies with honey, Paulie.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is there a strategic
maybe?
Is there a strategic element to what Mike Shildt is doing, making sure the umpires, who they're all going to work his games all year long, and making sure they know I respect what you do. I respect your profession. I respect who you are. I know you're going to make mistakes. I'm not a completely unreasonable guy here who's going to go and at every single tiny call going to start kicking dirt and going crazy. But I am here to get tossed in this situation. But, I do respect you. Next time, hopefully you'll make a better call that goes our team's favor.
Jake,
essentially is what he's trying to do there, isn't he?
Yeah, so Jake says, what a total fake it makes him look like. Man, I don't get the sense that he's fake. I get the sense, again, we've said this a billion times, that's who he is. That's who he is. That's kind of how I feel, is like that's who he is.
He said in many post-game news conferences very glowing things about the umpires.
Yes.
Really tough job. I totally understand it. I didn't like that call, but have a massive amount of respect for the umpires and what they do.
And like people are saying, like, it kind of makes them look more real. I agree. Now, it may not be how you would handle it, Paulie, or I would handle it.
Definitely would be how I would handle it.
It would definitely be how Country Ben would handle it. It's not, I didn't look at it and go, oh boy, oh man, he's going to be pissed. I promise you, they went in there and laughed their ass about it. Now, I have seen before. I have seen a manager, but I can't remember who it was. I've seen the Terry Collins video where he's screaming at the umpires. I've seen that one, but I swear to God, I have seen another one where a guy goes out but he does it loud. I got to get run right now. You know I can't be out here.
Right.
You got to throw me. And you want me to throw you? Yes, go. Like, I've seen that before. Does that make it better? Even though it's a bull-ass ejection. I think it does. I think it's a better look.
I would have preferred that.
So somebody made the really good point.
Because I remember watching it live when that happened, and I go, Shildt didn't look that upset.
He wasn't. And he wasn't. And again, he also knows his star player is dying right now. And the whole fan base is turned on him. And the whole city is turned on him.
And Manny knows he's not dying because the umpires have been
correct.
Given, bad calls all season long against him. He knows that.
He knows. That's exactly right.
But when you're struggling and then you get wrong on a bad call, sometimes it's just the snapping point.
There's no question. There's no question about it.
My question is, would you rather have Mike Shildt with the somewhat disingenuous managerial ejection?
Yeah. Did you say disingenuous?
Disingenuous? Or Andy Green with just the really sad, poor performance of getting ejected?
I don't know that either of them are particularly great, to be honest with you. I really don't. But I know I've seen managers asked to be ejected before. We'll ask.
Call another call wrong,
Joe. I'll ask. I'll ask Mike Shildt about that yesterday. That, hey, you got John Boyd. Somebody made the really astute...
Or tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I mean. Somebody made the really astute point. Hey, you can do that. Better not get caught doing it. You better not get caught doing it, or it's a little bit of egg on your face. And that's kind of how I felt.
And do you feel like when you're out there and no one else can hear you, that lip reading is fair game, that you can get caught doing that when no one else is out there hearing this conversation?
Yeah.
You feel like it's a private conversation, but ultimately it was not.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not a private conversation. It's out there.
I'm leaving, Joe. You go call another call.
It's the worst chatter I've ever heard in the game of baseball. Ever. That is singularly the worst chatter I ever heard in the game. It sounds like something my 6-year-old would say. Don't worry, Dad.
Rob to give Andy Green some insult lessons.
Don't worry, Dad. I'm leaving. You can go call another call wrong. You can go be mean again.
Our buddy Ted Mendenhall just texted me because there's video of Earl Weaver saying that he needs to get tossed.
I gotta
and
go.
the umpire won't do it.
He won't do it.
Won't do it.
And
I forgot about that.
That makes you
That's
furious.
so much worse.
Yeah, I need you to throw me right now. And that is part of the game
Good
of
call.
the eyewash of baseball, which would be a fascinating book. Eyewash of Baseball would really be a fascinating book because it exists 1,000%.
I would buy that book.
I would too.
We need a contestant for Real or Fake on a Throwback Thursday. Give us a call right now, 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Call right now. Chance to win a trip to the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, plus your choice of concert tickets to either Hootie and the Blowfish or Smashing Pumpkins, and a $150 poolside dining credit. Summer room packages and tickets are available now at FontainebleauLasVegas.com. Let's get to it. Let's play our game.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
Just told you what you can win. Qualifying for the grand prize. It does require getting at least 4 out of 7 correct, though. Feel free to ask Woods for a little bit of help if he would like to help you out. And he should be an expert at today's category. All right, I see some calls coming in. Let's go to John. You are in today as our Real or Fake contestant. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, buddy.
All right, let's go. Let's see if we can qualify you for the trip to Las Vegas. So, Goat Hill Park was an amazing location for our 3rd annual Ish Chrome Tour Ben & Woods Open yesterday. And if you were there and paying attention, you may have noticed that each hole at the Goat has a name. Today on Real or Fake, I will give you a name. You tell me if it matches up with one of the holes at the Goat or if it is a fake. And Woods was there. Now, you weren't playing, so maybe you missed it. But
Played there 100 times. I don't know. Oh, no.
Are you ready to go, John?
I'm not going to be good, buddy. I'll just guess along with you.
Round one.
Oh, great. I've never played there.
That's all right.
All right, well,
it's a bit of a guessing game.
50-50.
Round 1, Hawk's Realm. Hawk's Realm. Real or fake, John?
I'll go with fake.
That one is real. That was the Heckle hole, number 10. In fact, I saw a majestic hawk flying down into the tree right by the 10th tee yesterday. It was very, very cool.
I was with you. Yeah, that was cool.
All right, let's go to round number 2. Goodnight Kiss. Goodnight Kiss. Real or fake, John?
Woods, do you have any idea?
God dang it, dude. It doesn't sound like a golf hole, man. Good night's kiss.
Good night kiss.
Good night kiss. I'm going to say fake.
He says fake. John, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. That sounds fake.
That is fake. Very good. All right, we're on the board. Let's go to round number 3. Ralph's.
Ralph's?
Ralph's.
Like the surf spot?
Yeah, or the
Ralph's.
grocery store.
Ralph's hole.
I don't know, Woodsy. What do you think? That sounds fake to me, but
It sounds fake, so I think it's real.
Ooh. John, what do you say?
I'll go with Woodsy.
Goes with Woodsy with real, and the answer is?
Real.
Real, yes. So the 6th hole is called Ralph's because it borders right on the back of a supermarket, which used to be Ralph's but is now Fraser Farms, so they really should change it to Fraser Farms. But the hole is called Ralph's. All right, so here we go. Round number 4. You got 2 right, 2 more to go. The plank. The plank.
Ooh, like walk the plank.
Real or fake?
I feel like I'm walking the plank. Let's go. Let's go real.
He goes real. Paulie? It is. That's the one handicap hole, the 16th hole, where it gets really narrow, like you're walking the plank before you get to the green. All you need is one more, and you are our winner today. Let's go with round number 5. Oz. Oz. Real or fake?
What do you think, Woodsy?
Oz. God, this is a total guess, man. I'm gonna say real.
He's gonna say real. John, what do you say?
I'm gonna go fake.
He's gonna go fake. That's all right. All right, and you would be? Oh, damn it! He had that one. Oz was correct. So, all right, we still need one more. We got 2 more chances.
All right, we good.
Round
We're
number
good.
6. The Devil's Elbow. The Devil's Elbow.
Oh.
Golf courses always do this.
Woodsy, that's like something
Like a
that
dog
made up.
leg.
I mean, I can see it happening. I can see a golf course doing something like naming their hole the Devil's Elbow, buddy. Oh, crap. Would Ashworth do it? I don't. That's the thing.
Yeah. Let's go real.
All right,
You guys real? Actually, there is a course, I think somewhere in the Midwest, that has a hole called the Devil's Elbow. Not this one, though.
Mine would be the Devil's Taint.
It comes down to round number 7 for all the marbles. John, real or fake? Combat Corner.
Combat Corner?
Combat Corner.
Gotta be fake.
Real or fake?
It's gotta be fake. Combat Corner.
God, but see, that sounds so fake.
It does. It does sound fake to me, man.
All right.
Come on.
Hey, we're gonna either make it or go down in flames.
Let's go.
We'll go fake.
Fake.
Oh, no. For all the marbles, Paulie, is it real or fake?
Yes! Yes, yes.
John,
We
you
did
have
it.
pulled it out on
We did
round
it.
7. Congratulations. We will put you into the drawing for Las Vegas. Hold on the line. Paulie will get your information during our break. And thank you for playing a little real or fake. All right, Don't Do This is coming up
When was the last
next.
time a real or fake didn't go to round
They all,
7?
I mean, like it feels
Every
like 90%
single
of them
one.
It's
go
crazy.
to round 7. I'm going to take that as a sign that I'm doing my job well, keeping you guessing all the time. All right, Don't Do This is coming up next, and then Adam Jones is going to be with us. We'll talk a little Willie Mays with a guy. I know he was talking about Willie Mays on his podcast this week. Catch up after we missed him yesterday. So that's all coming up with Ben Woods after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Don't Do This brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley. Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today. Thecrafttaco.com. Why didn't we get the Craft Taco to come out to our golf tournament? Next time.
Great question.
Next time for sure.
Write
That
it down.
would be fantastic. Put it in the notes file.
Yes, for sure.
As we get going on Don't Do This today.
Real quick, just a very quick breaking news.
Breaking news?
Baseball news. Jeff Passan says the New York Yankees are in agreement on a 1-year deal with 34-year-old Tim Hill.
He has landed.
Tim
After
Hill
he got released.
in the pinstripes.
Wow.
After he got released earlier, he is now a New York Yankee.
So does he have to got to shave his facial? He's done it before. It didn't. Remember when he cut his hair?
Yeah.
And everyone was like,
Didn't look great. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna.
Ouch.
That is shocking.
That's an odd fit.
I
me.
wouldn't normally interrupt, but I'm like, whoa.
It's an odd fit.
That's
I
weird.
love Timmy Hill. I wish him the greatest success. That seems like a weird fit. Man, it's been quite an off season for the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. And listen, Isaiah Buggs has had an offensive offseason as well, Benny. He's a defensive tackle. He was the one that was accused back in May of animal cruelty. 2 dogs left on the back porch. The house was rented by him. They had not had food or water in over a week, so that was pretty gnarly. And then recently, he allegedly dragged a woman who's the mother of his child down the stairs of her apartment, got arrested on Sunday, broke into the apartment with a tire iron and dragged her down the stairs, causing scratch marks on her wrist, left the apartment, then was arrested. I mean, it's been arrest after arrest, controversy after controversy for the Chiefs in the offseason, and see how they won the last 2, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, usually the thinking is that when you have lots of off-the-field distractions and controversies, that there's no way you can have success on the field. But we kind of think that, but it's not necessarily holding true. The Chiefs have had tons of things during their Super Bowl runs. They had Andy Reid's son.
Yeah,
They've had plenty of issues. They got a whole stadium thing going on right now where like Kansas is trying to steal the Chiefs and the Royals away from Missouri, the other side of the border. It's just constant. The drama is constant there, but they keep winning.
The Patriots had Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah,
bro. Those juggernauts just keep rolling. The Dallas Cowboys back then. I mean, those dudes were wild
it's
as hell.
almost like it matters more if you have talent and skill rather than good behavior off the field.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know what the NFL is going to do as far as sanctions and things like that to the Chiefs, but it does. You do get the sense that potentially they'll just keep on rolling. When you got Patrick Mahomes under center, that's a good place to start.
All right, speaking of the New England Patriots, and I get that not everyone's going to agree with me on the Don't Do This here, but have you seen that Bill Belichick has been going around and traveling with his new girlfriend, Jordan Hudson?
Yeah, he has a new lady friend in his life.
And his new lady friend
is
almost 50 years younger than he is.
The heart
and
wants what the heart wants.
Well,
man.
I do get that, but at some point, I just feel like it's a little creepy, isn't it? I mean,
it's 48 years.
They met on an airplane in 2021 when she was doing her homework, and he was like helping her with her homework on the plane.
What are you working on there?
Social studies?
Algebra?
It was a paper on logic, and they bonded over it. They exchanged information, got a little selfie, but he was dating his longtime girlfriend at the time, but they stayed in touch, and after he broke up with Linda Holiday, apparently the two have become romantically involved. They traveled to Croatia together.
Okay.
And Bill Belichick is, I mean, do you feel like, would you trust that she's with you for the right reasons? Paulie made a great point. Like, okay, when she's home, like for the summer for college, and she brings her boyfriend over to meet the parents, dinner.
Can you call
Here's
him
my boyfriend?
Can you call him a boyfriend if he's 70
that's
years
what
old?
he is.
This is my man.
Here's my
friend.
boyfriend, Bill Belichick. Dad, Mom.
Kevin
Bill.
Kevin in the chat says, has he introduced her to his 40-year-old daughter? He has a 40-year-old daughter.
I mean, it's at the very least, it's awkward.
Yeah, if you're,
it's awkward.
Who's it weirder for, him or her?
Me.
Yeah, right.
I think it's the rest of us. If they, like you said, the heart wants what the heart wants, and if they're both really happy, I guess I should be happy for them. I just feel like it's.
People say in the
it
people
feels
are saying,
a little wrong to me.
People are saying in the chat, sugar daddy. Okay, she's 24. very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Bill's not exactly the sharpest looking guy out there.
Yeah, he doesn't. Is she a huge Patriots fan or something? 'Cause
I'm sure he's very interesting.
Is he?
I don't think he is.
No, I think behind closed doors, he's an interesting fellow. He's got to be smart. And
Dan says skank. I wouldn't go that far, Dan. I wouldn't call her a skank. I mean,
didn't say that.
I think it's creepy on Bill's part.
What is?
She could be his granddaughter.
Correct.
Correct.
But
that
for her,
age
that could be
difference
your
is
grandfather.
absolutely grandfather-granddaughter territory.
Look, I just always think of Big Daddy every time this happens. Okay? Every time this happens, I think of
loose skin.
Loose skin and old balls. Gross.
He's got a 5-year plan. What is it?
Don't die. Pipe down, old man River. I'll break your hip. I think of this. Now, again, my wife's 14 years younger, but this is 48.
I mean, you at least should have some commonalities with your wife.
Yeah,
at
we both
14
go to
years.
bed at 7.
Right.
Correct. She was a 60-year-old, 24-year-old when I met her.
You're not. It'd be like you in 24 years dating somebody born today.
And maybe she's just
Put it in
a
that
70-year-old, 24-year-old right now.
Could be. Well, my thing is, like, does he have money? Yeah, he's got money. A lot of people have money that aren't 70 years old. A lot. I don't get the sense, though, this is like the Anna Nicole Smith. That guy was like in a wheelchair. He was knocking on death's door. I don't get that sense. He's still an active. He can walk.
No, that
and
really was creepy.
That one to me, I was like, oh. What was his name? I can't remember.
I don't know.
All right. I got a good do this today.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
A really cool Willie Mays story who passed away a couple days ago at 93. Was that right? 93 years old. And Daniel Brown.
Don't think he was dating a 46-year-old.
I don't think so.
who was
I don't
passing,
think so. But he, Daniel Brown from The Athletic, tweeted this out. It's pretty cool. A lighthearted Willie Mays story. I was among the beat writers who came across him outside the Giants clubhouse before a 2002 World Series game in Anaheim. Now, Willie, it seemed he did not have a photo on his badge, so the security guard wouldn't let him in.
Oh, my God.
Nobody thought this was funnier than Mays, who just chuckled and told stories while waiting for a photo badge to be delivered. John Miller was there, too. He had a World Series program, so he suggested a few options. There was a pic of Willie Mays making the catch in the 54 World Series. John Miller says to the security guard, "Can you use this photo?" Then there was a pic of Willie Mays with Mickey Mantle. What about this one? Mays was stuck there for so long that he did kind of an impromptu press conference. He was fielding mostly fun questions about his World Series memories, what it was like to see his godson finally make, Barry Bonds, to make the Fall Classic. One reporter was oddly aggressive. Mays finally said, "Where are you from?" He said, "New York." And Mays said, "Oh, that explains it." Everyone laughed. The photo snafu took so long, he passed the time by doing a one-on-one TV hit with Univision, and they battled hilariously through some language barrier confusion. Ultimately, Mays' charm needed
Did that
no
security
translation.
guy lose his job, or would he get praised for following the rules to a T?
I mean, this guy, he said, no, Mays did not have a photo badge, but everything else was picture perfect. You would think if you're the security guard and people start coming up to the guy that you won't let in and wanting to do one-on-one interviews, and he's telling stories,
And they're all telling you this guy is Willie Mays.
He's Willie Mays.
Really, he belongs in here. Trust us. We
It's
all
like-
belong in here. We're not all trying to pull one off
It's
on
like
you.
this old guy, and he's standing there, like you think, all right, I may have to let this one slide. But hey, listen, at the end of the day, kudos to the security guard for doing his job. But he probably felt like a buffoon when it was all said and done. But I like my favorite part of that. Willie didn't get upset. Willie didn't get upset at all. He understands that guy had a job to do, and he laughed it off and was lighthearted about it. Didn't take himself too seriously. Looking forward to hearing some Willie Mays stories from Adam Jones next.
That is Don't and Do This for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Curious if Adam thinks what most people do. Was Willie Mays the greatest ball player of all time?
Yeah.
We will talk to the former big leaguer, 5-time All-Star, great outfielder. I'm sure they had some commonalities as well. When we come back next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Going to be playing a Major League Baseball game tonight at Rickwood Field in Alabama. And our next guest, I don't know if he's still there. He definitely was there this week. Obviously, it's where Willie Mays was from, and it just happens to be now the week that the legendary ball player passed away. Adam Jones is going to join us right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by SDG&E. Some problems in the North County. South 5 coastline just past Birmingham. There is a collision in the HOV lane. Also traveling on northbound 15 just past the 52. Crash blocking the HOV lane. Then another accident up ahead before the 56. This one is over to the right shoulder. In peak wildfire season, as a last resort, SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdge.com/PSPS. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's go out and check in with Adam Jones, who I mentioned was at the Rickwood Field in Alabama this week. Adam, good morning. How have you been, and are you still out there in Alabama?
Good morning to you guys. Yeah, I'm still here. My first time down here really in the South, and everything's been great. The softball game last night was tremendous. The crowd, the people here, obviously it sucks that Mr. Mays passed, but I think we were going to honor him, but let's celebrate him, and that's what we're doing here. We're having a good time. Mr. Mays would have loved all of these things that are going on in his name, and we're going to just preserve the legacy. Mr. Mays was one of the greatest baseball players of all time, if not the greatest. And to be here, it's a surreal feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some stories that Ken Griffey Jr. told. Obviously wore number 24 for Willie Mays, and said his heart hit the floor. And it's it's coming for all of us. It's not gonna. None of us are gonna avoid it when it happens.
Right.
But the legacy that Willie Mays left behind. Now, obviously, he stopped playing, I think, 2 years before we were born, Benny. But you saw, obviously, the catch. You saw, you look at the numbers, you go, these are staggering. This is
Yes.
Him and Hank Aaron's are the ones. Every time I go back and revisit their numbers, I go, how does this happen? 24-time All-Star for Willie Mays. I mean, it's just incredible. What was your experience like with him?
Well, I got to meet him a few times, and you know what? Someone said this that made sense to me and why he's considered the greatest player. Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Cobb, they just played against each other. In the Negro Leagues back then with Oscar Charleston and Josh Gibson, they played against each other. But Willie Mays played in an integrated era with DiMaggio and Duke Snider, and that was arguably one of the greatest eras of baseball, and he dominated. He was the best of them all. And, obviously he hasn't played my whole life, but his impact is still there. I mean, yesterday we were doing things like during the softball game, we had to catch every fly ball like Willie Mays would. I'm at first base because I ain't running, and I'm catching basket catches at first base on a pop-up. His legacy his legacy is going to forever be cemented in baseball because of the flair, the smile, just the graciousness in which he played the game.
2 seasons he served in the Army, finished with 660 home runs, and lost 2 full seasons. 5'10", 170. And just dominated everybody out there. That's staggering to think about, man. And there's so many stories going around. Do you have a personal story of when you got to meet him?
Well, I got to meet him when we went to San Francisco years ago, and he just told me, hey, young man, I like the way you play center field. I like how you play shallow. It's not your fault if the ball's hit over your head. So it ain't my fault. So I'm
Blame
like,
the pitcher.
Because people been telling me to start backing up, and I was like, no, stay where you at. It ain't your fault. So he ensured me to play shallow.
What does that even feel like as a center fielder in baseball to have Willie Mays say, "I like the way you play center field"?
No, I mean, you talking about the greatest center fielder of all time, telling you that, and I'm just like, hey, I'm just trying to be something comparable to you. I mean, he's the gold standard. Him, Griffey, they're the gold standards. And You just want to live up to the expectation.
Adam, how important is this Rickwood Field game tonight between the Cardinals and the Giants? Baseball is played in a cornfield. They've played in London. They've played at the Little League World Series. But this game in particular, especially for the black baseball community, how big is this?
It's huge. Recognizing Negro Leagues. Like I said, the Negro Leagues and black history are American history. Why I understand the segregation, I understand all that. But now, there's no need for all that stuff, that segregation. So we're bringing all the stats and all the numbers and all the experience over because, you can't tell me that I can entertain you, but I can't eat with you. And now, with the sacrifices from all those guys in Negro Leagues, Mr. Manny's included, we were able to, I'm able to live a cool life because of those guys.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. I want to shift gears a little bit to the series I know you were following pretty intently, and that was the Yankees-Orioles series, and it got a little heated, got a little nasty. You had some stars being hit. Kind of give us your overall thoughts on that. When you saw Judge get hit, did you immediately know, oh boy, they're going to have to throw at Gunnar now? And Gunnar, to his credit, he wore his hit by pitch last night, stole second, ended up scoring a really, really important run for the Orioles. But that was a really good series between two really good teams.
Great series. The Orioles are a fantastic team. The Yankees are a fantastic team who just got cold back. And again, that's how it's supposed. That's baseball. Don't sugarcoat it. That's how baseball is. These guys are aggressive. You want to win. You got to knock guys down. You got to move guys' feet. And obviously, you never want to hit them. Excuse me. You never want to hit anybody. You never want to hurt anyone. But it's part of the game.
Adam Jones is with us. Adam, we were talking about it earlier. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but there was a social media video from John Boy going out involving Padres manager Mike Shildt. And he went out after Manny got ejected. And as they were reading his lips, he was basically kind of just saying to the umpire, okay, you're just going to have to throw me out as well. And it was pretty calm, and he was pretty respectful about it. We were talking earlier this morning. We don't think Manny would have a problem with that as all. But Manny, you're a ball player. If your manager went out there and went out to get ejected but did it in more of a polite, perfunctory way as opposed to really losing his mind genuinely, would you have a problem with that?
Do what you do. I have to go. That's fine. But you guys are doing a good job. You blew that pitch, but I don't want to play your game.
What do you think?
Did you see this?
I did. I love it. You have to get tossed when your superstar gets tossed. That's just part of it. Shildt is a great dude. He understands that.
But you have to actually go crazy, like for real. Like, I've got to lose my mind.
You got to slam your hat. You got to slam your hat, kick some dirt on his feet. Do all those things. But you got to go and you got to get tossed. And you know what? Hell, if you get tossed on Father's Day, go inside, have an early beer.
Yeah, and he did. And they said they had the chance to go in and chat it up. I said if there's one player on the team that's not going to care how his manager gets ejected, it's probably Manny. And you like I said, him pretty well, and he's scuffling this year, and he's frustrated. He said the other day, it's rare I show my emotions, but I'm pissed and I suck right now, and I got to figure it out, man. It's he's going through a tough stretch.
Yeah, I'm watching, and this is the veteran in him understanding that it's a long season and that, this week is not going to dictate next week. He knows that it's a long, long season, and, his numbers are always going to be there. But again, it's frustrating for him because when you're one of the game's best and your numbers don't reflect it, it's a frustrating thing. And he knows that. So, and he also knows that, a good week, one good swing can turn his season around.
Yeah.
I always tell him when he hits that ball to right center field on the line, I don't think there's anybody better in the game than him. And you just got to get back to it. And he's a vet. He knows it. There's no need for me to tell him. I still reach out to him and give him tidbits that I see. But he's the one out there doing it. And he knows what it takes.
One thing I hated, though, that he said was, if I have to rip my elbow apart again, I'm going to get it figured out. I don't know that that's the The right. I don't. It's not what I want to hear. From Manny. I want to. He's probably my favorite player, AJ, and I definitely don't want to exacerbate the problem. Do you feel like you know him and you probably know his pain tolerance and everything else? And he said the other day, I'm at 70%. I'm better than most guys that play third base, and I tend to agree. But I will say, are you of the opinion that he may need to go rest for 10 days on the IL and try to heal up and clear his mind?
I mean, I don't know if that would be best for him because that's just not his style. He's a player. But, I don't know his pain threshold. I don't know how his elbow feels. I mean, anytime you have a surgery, you're still going to feel that effects lingering on for, a certain amount of time post. I know he's back playing, but, I mean, no matter what, you have surgery on your elbow and you got to throw a baseball, and he throws it hard from different angles. So the torque on it definitely can't feel good. Swinging and missing when you have an injury like that cannot feel good. But at the same time, no one feels good playing baseball right now. Everybody is battling something. Somebody's hurting. Everybody is battling something, and that's just part of the game. So if you need to sit because you got a hangnail, that's not the era in which myself, Manny, and many others play. So we gut through it, unfortunately, and sometimes it doesn't look pretty, but when we're not playing and we know we can play, it's a weird feeling for us. So no matter what we're going through, we're going to post. The manager writes our name in the lineup. We're going to play. And again, sometimes it doesn't look pretty, but guys want to play 150 games.
From Barcelona to Mumbai to Alabama, it's always fascinating to find out where in the world is Adam Jones. Adam, appreciate it as always. Thanks for making time for us on a Thursday. We'll talk to you again next week.
Always. And next week I'll be in a new place with probably with a mojito.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to find out where in the world is Adam Jones. There he is, the 5-time All-Star. And guess what? Manny, when he says, my numbers will be there at the end of the year, they won't this year.
They're not going
It's
to.
too late.
Yeah.
He could turn it around. He could have a good second half, but the numbers are never going to get to Manny-like numbers this year. He's too deep in the hole. He's gotten off to too slow of a start for too long. The season's almost half over.
Yeah.
The halfway point will come for the Padres in just like 5 or 6 games. In fact, at the roundtable today, we're going to do a bit of a midseason review because it's the closest roundtable to the 81-game mark of the year. So Manny doesn't have a chance to turn this year around. It's going to go down as one of the worst or maybe the worst season in Manny's career. But there's a big difference between that. If he has a good second half, it can just go down as maybe a slightly down year. If he has a bad second half, it'll go down as the worst year he's ever had in baseball. And that's an important differentiation for the San Diego Padres. They just want Manny to have what ends up being kind of a slightly down year and not a historically bad year for Manny Machado.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I don't think he's going to get to 30 pops this year. I'd
be shocked.
That would require a monster second half. But yeah, man, I'd gladly eat my words. It's we haven't really parsed out some of his comments, and again, I think there's nothing he can say right now that's going to make people that.
I think his comments. I mean, we can go through them a little bit in the second half of the show.
Yeah,
I think his comments were what a lot of fans wanted to hear. To see some frustration, to see some actual
I didn't see much of that. I saw more of.
I feel like fans get more frustrated that it looks like Manny isn't
care.
frustrated.
No, I agree. But I do I liked him. I like to see that because it's a rare glimpse inside when he talks like that. But I saw more. Look, nobody cares what you say. They want to see what you do. And especially in a results-based business like baseball, they just want to see you perform on the field. And then if you're driving in runs and you're hitting home runs, no one cares if you blow a bubble. When you blow a bubble and you don't come through, then they get mad at you for blowing a bubble. No one cares what you do if you're producing. That's in any business almost, man. As long as you're producing, they really don't care.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. From a healthier weight to more energy, when you switch your dog's food to the Farmer's Dog, the effects can feel magical. What sorcery is this? None at all. It's just real food made for the health of dogs. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. So Paulie has some Throwback Thursday material that we can get to here coming up in the second half of the program. if you are interested. We'll also have Eno Sarris in our weekly Smart Baseball segment coming up at 8:35 as we head toward our roundtable. We got our commercial-free roundtable at 10 o'clock this morning. A very long day for Ben and Woods.
You ran into a bigger boomer yesterday at the Ben and Woods Open than me.
Oh, my God.
Even I know how to work Venmo. This is unbelievable.
I did have one snafu on the Venmo at
incredible.
Ben's Glory Hole yesterday.
Incredible.
So share that as well. Coming up next, 2 hours down, 2 + 1 to go with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Thursday. Ben & Woods 97.3, The Fan, fresh off of the third annual-ish Ben & Woods Open. Great day was had by all. We are a little bit sun-cooked, certainly. I wore sunscreen, but, I mean, it still just zaps you when you're out there. We were out there about 12, 13 hours yesterday, hanging out with the Tier 1s. It was really a special day. It always is. I love seeing you guys. Met so many new Tier 1s as well that probably aren't super active in the chat or on Twitter and stuff. It's always nice to hear that people appreciate what you do. So thank you guys for showing up, coming out, helping us raise money for charity.
I met a couple of people, older guys that were like, I've listened to you guys every morning since day one.
It's crazy.
The old station. He goes, I never call in.
Yeah,
I'm not on social media, but I just wanted to meet you guys finally.
I appreciate those guys.
Time out at the golf tournament.
Yeah, those guys aren't a pain in my ass at all. They're not calling me names and stuff. I like you guys.
I had a few people who said it's fun. It's fun to finally match the voice to the face.
Yeah.
As if I haven't been on TV for the last 20 years here in San Diego.
Maybe they don't get ABC.
Apparently not. Antenna on the side of your house ever once? And it's had Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on, and all of a sudden I came on just accidentally. You didn't see me once in the last 20 years?
Oh, my God.
Fine, whatever. You're much taller in person than you are on the radio.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, you can't do Ben's Glory Hole on ABC Channel 10 at night. You don't get to take the creative risks that you get to take here on the Ben & Woods radio program. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Paul, you did a great job yesterday. Knocked it out of the park. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And, so it was a little bit different this year. This was more of the Ben & Woods do-it-yourself version, and it was quite an undertaking to plan, host, and execute a golf tournament.
If anyone wants to know what was Ben's Glory Hole, because you're probably thinking some inappropriate things.
There was. Glory hole.
It was an opportunity for a $20 donation to our charitable works, the North County Junior Golf Association and the Goat Hill Caddy and Leadership Academy. You had a chance to beat my shot. I hit a shot in the morning, and it was about 35 feet away. And if you got inside of my shot, you won a dozen Chrome Tour golf balls from Callaway. Just about everybody participated all day. A lot of them had cash, but we also did Venmo if you wanted to come, and most people had no problem with it. But there was one competitor, and I don't remember who it is, so you are anonymously safe at this moment. But he sent me what he thought was a $20 Venmo for Ben's Glory Hole, and he accidentally sent me a $20 gift certificate to Sephora. I'm not sure how that's going to help the Junior Golf Association, but now we have a $20 gift certificate, Wood. So
I didn't know you could do that.
I'm on the website. You can get for $20. We can get a luminizer. You need any luminizer?
I think I have plenty.
Bronzer and contour stick.
Okay, could use that.
On sale, I can get you like 5 eyeliner pencils.
No, I don't wear eyeliner anymore.
I just pulled up Venmo. So, right now, you pull up the person's name. So I pulled up Ben, $10. And then you're supposed to put a note.
Right.
And you can say either request or pay. But right above that, it says gift. So he must have hit gift. And you can send them a DoorDash gift card, Starbucks, Sephora, Chipotle, Lululemon, Adidas.
So Caitlin in the chat says she'll take it.
She'll take the Sephora gift card.
Let's just send it to her.
Right, yeah, Caitlin,
give
us your information.
What do we need? Her phone number or your Venmo?
Venmo
Caitlin,
account number. Yeah.
DM me your Venmo, and we will send you our $20. Just so you guys don't think that we're going to take that $20 ourselves.
I could get the mini radiant creamy concealer, which would be good for television, perhaps for me. I do have a blemish that I might want to hide later today on Channel 10. Right, so maybe I should go to Sephora during our break between the show and the CEO
because we're giving it to Caitlin
use it for myself.
No. Okay, stop being so selfish. Fine. This is for charity, and not that Caitlin's a charity, but she did just graduate. Fine. With a little graduation gift from the Ben & Woods program. What is this blemish that you have?
it's a big old zit on the bridge of my nose.
I don't see it, though.
It's gotten better, a little better today. Yeah,
Now it's right where
there.
your glasses
Yeah,
go.
it hits right when the glasses.
Does it hurt?
Oh, yeah. It's a little uncomfortable right
The
there.
glasses just press right up against it.
So gnarly.
Right there. Right there.
Well, listen.
Ouch.
The DIY version of the Ben Woods Open was tough. It was a hard day, and I guess
I think we crushed it.
I
if
think
I
we
say
did
so
too, but
myself.
I didn't realize I got there at like 6, and I started like unloading things from my car, and I'm like, we have to stuff. We must have stuffed 170 bags,
Gift
yesterday.
bags.
Gift
with like
bags.
8 different items in them.
That was the biggest nightmare. I have certain items. Adam has certain items. Paul has certain items. Ben has certain items.
Does
Your
that-
wife, Shell, has
Did
certain
that bag
items.
get a chapstick?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Wait, this one doesn't have the golf balls.
It was a S show. It was. I was like, "There's got to be a better way to do this," and that's what we're trying to learn: is what went right, what went wrong.
We need to line up all 160 bags on the course, like at the tee box, just all the way down, and just assembly line.
Assembly line. I mean, it was, and I didn't really realize. And then I'm like unloading cases of beer, unloading cases of water, unloading all kinds of stuff.
You brought in, what, the dozen boxes of donuts? Yep.
Yeah. I got high off my own supply yesterday for sure. For sure. It was a great, great day. And we didn't play. We didn't really want to because we had to run the tournament.
There was no chance.
There was no chance, man. There was no chance. We gave away some great gifts, raffle prizes. You guys were awesome.
We had one tier 1 who actually won 2 of the raffle items, and there were like hundreds of raffle tickets in these things.
Does
so.
he know yet?
I haven't told him yet.
All right, Hector. We actually play baseball with Hector. He's on our team. This was not rigged, I swear. I like Hector, but not enough to rig my golf tournament for him. I like him a lot. He's a great player. But he actually won 2 raffle prizes yesterday.
We were going to rig it. I mean, like, Shelly bought a bunch of tickets.
Yeah.
We could have rigged it more in our favor than that.
Yeah, 100%. The winner of the Odyssey Suite, Hannah Nancaro Woods. Wow, what are the odds? I mean, and they bought tickets
They did.
too.
The
So.
spring training autographed baseball bat, Paul Reindl.
Paul Reindl wins that.
Wow.
No, it was
Only bought one ticket. What are the odds?
It was an awesome, awesome day. Everyone behaved themselves for the most part. The heckle hole was great. The glory hole was great. We did a little different. Now, we didn't have all of the frills, that other golf tournaments have, like when you're out on the course, like food and drink. We didn't have those. We wanted it to be a little bit more of an experience, a golfing
had
experience.
good food and drink. It just
was
wasn't
back at
station. It was all
Correct.
just stationed at the clubhouse.
Yeah, when you're out playing golf, the last thing you need is a drink or some food.
Well, plus, you and I loaded up a couple of carts, and we drove around every hole. We were throwing Jersey Mike sandwiches
And shots
at
people.
Shots, beers, the whole
I
9
did think
yards.
about it, though, because I have played tournaments before where I'm out there, and every hole you go to, it's, hi, how are you? Come spin this wheel. It's 20. And I'm like, I just dropped this for a ticket. I cannot come out to this tournament and drop $3,000 spinning a wheel.
They make you feel bad, though.
They make
it's
you
like,
feel
do you want to help
bad.
the homeless
Hi,
veterans or
my
not?
name's
And it's
Paul. I'm
like,
with
oh.
Mission Fed Credit Union. We're actually. Do you like sick children?
Yeah.
Do you care about sick children?
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No. Okay.
Okay, cool,
if you
cool.
do, it'll cost $150 to spin the wheel.
We played a tournament a couple years ago. Ben and I did. And I left that thing like $700 lighter than when I came. And I was like, you know what? It was fun. It wasn't that fun. Okay? I was broke when I left. And I like to give. I'm a giver. But holy smokes, man. It was partly because we did it ourselves. And the other part was I also don't like to be bothered when I'm at every hole of a scramble. Not bothered, but like I just want to play. The pace was outstanding. You get through a scramble in 4 hours, you're doing something
4-hour rounds, 2 of them,
That's
back to back.
amazing. That's
Incredible.
amazing.
And we had time to turn around all the carts for the second half of the event. That was pretty cool.
The craziest part of the whole day.
That really was.
The morning flight took off at 8.
Yep.
The afternoon guys were taking off about 1 o'clock. So between 11:30 and 1 p.m., the morning crew is all starting to come in.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
The afternoon guys are showing up early to register. And they're like,
hey.
hey, where's my damn cart?
Yep.
Where's my cart? I'm like, bro, it's on number 14.
They're
I
still
don't
on the
know.
course.
Just hang out. Just relax.
Yep. Yeah, it was nuts, man. It was nuts. And then everyone was watching the Padres game, too. And it was just a fun day. It was a really special day. I got home, though, yesterday, put the kids to bed, and I went in and I laid down and I was like, I am so cooked. I am so cooked. But it's been It's been so fun watching the growth and of the tournament and people already. Hey, when's the next one? I'm like, you son of a bitch! Do not ask me today. Ask me today.
There's a reason why we call it the annual ish.
We need a little
Ben and
breather.
Woods Open. We don't like to be locked in and know. Oh no, it's annual. That means we have to do it like around the same time every year. We don't.
We don't.
It's ish.
We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Always good to hang with you guys. So
I will
thank
say
you.
it's safe though. We'll do it in 2025. Maybe before June, maybe after June.
I would settle down on that.
Ish.
I would wait. I don't know. I'm not committing to anything long term. Other than I'll be here today for the round table, and then after that, we'll see. We do have our CEO coming to town.
Back, yeah.
We have our CEO coming to town today at 1:45.
If you're listening, David, big fan
Huge
of the
fan.
CEO of our company.
Thank you so much.
My Odyssey.
Simply
the best. I did mention in the 6 a.m. hour that it is a big meeting. Everyone's expected to be there. Don't ask any questions, please. No, you're just to get noticed. Don't ask any questions.
Your questions are not CEO level questions.
They're not.
I can promise you that.
Whatever you're thinking.
No one here needs to know what, fourth quarter projections are due to election year advertising revenue.
Right.
No one needs to know that in this meeting.
I don't even know that the shows need to be there, but we have to be there. We will be there.
We're low-level employees.
We are such low. That's the funny thing is we are the low-level employees here. We don't generate any money.
If Annie and Elston offered you do a 4-hour midday show after, or a 3-hour midday show after the roundtable, so
But
you
you get to
don't
skip
have
the
to go to
meeting.
the meeting, would you do that?
Today? Yeah. No, I'd rather go to the meeting. I'm out of material. It's 8:12. I got nothing. So
Because they'll be on the air. They got lucky.
Oh, they don't have to go.
Well, they moved the back to 1:45, so they have to come right off the air and join mid-meeting for like the last 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It's really Gwen and
Yeah,
Chris
they
who
got
will
off
only
easy.
have to pop in for like 10 minutes.
Even then, they're
And then-
prepping, and they're like, hey, we got to get on the air.
And then they get to be on the air, so they don't have to be at the meeting.
Man. All right. Well, just don't ask any questions, please. I go right from that. I got a
Wait.
soccer clinic I got to go to after that for Taylor.
Never mind.
Excuse me. No, we did not have giant Ziplocs. JR wants to know. We actually had bags. We did have to stuff
I
them.
think giant Ziplocs would have been fantastic. Then we could have seen in the bags when we were stuffing them to know whether we had already put something in the bag or not, and didn't have to root around in there to
Yeah, but
decide
then
if
you
it
gotta-
was already a ball.
You have
or-
to zip up 170 bags. You have to push the air out and zip up 170
it's
bags.
It's not like going to go back. It's not like you're keeping it fresh.
Yeah, but you're not.
These aren't Ritz crackers that we're putting in there. You can have a little air in the bag if it's just golf balls and stickers. They're
That's
not going to
true.
degrade in there. You just close it, zip. It
Take up a
lines
lot
up
of-
perfectly.
take up a lot of
Remember the
space.
yellow and blue make green
Yellow and
to
blue
make
make
sure
green.
that they were closed? You could tell.
Of course, I remember that.
That was genius.
Terrible bit. It was a great day. Thank you guys for being there. Thanks to all of our sponsors, people that came out and donated their time and their products and things like that. It was great. It was a great, great day. Love
All right,
you guys.
Let's take a time out. When we come back, we can take a little Throwback Thursday tour down memory lane, and then Eno Sarris is going to join us at the bottom of the hour for our Smart Baseball segment.
We got some good ones.
All coming up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. I feel like that kid who didn't do his homework the night before and is trying to finish it.
So me.
Last second in the morning before the teacher requests it.
Yeah, it took my whole life.
With the golf tournament yesterday, and then I'm exhausted at the end. My stock of roundtable topics is a little barren at the moment, so I'm kind of in the commercial breaks filling out some potential questions to ask y'all coming up at 10 o'clock this morning.
Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
Would it have been the worst thing if you just sent a group text to everybody on the round table?
Yeah,
and
seriously.
just say, hey, what are you guys
Like,
kind
you
of
don't-
feeling? What do you want to talk
like,
about?
you don't get
It's okay if they're prepared and know what topic might come up.
You don't get paid any extra for being the host. Like I just go in and answer your question when you come to me, but you have to host it.
I'm not a big believer in crowdsourcing my material.
Yeah, I'm really not either, to be honest, but sometimes you absolutely have to. You have to.
And call me, maybe arrogant, but I feel like the topics I come up with are the best topics.
God. I was on your side, and now I am no longer on your side. Paulie, is he serious?
People love the
I
round
mean,
table.
yeah, I think
I
he's
feel like the
serious.
reason they love the round table is,
God.
me.
Oh my God.
You egotistical, arrogant, and
and it's like I get the bad rap on this show. And I mean, look, I work with like
It's just being logical. I have to direct the whole kit and caboodle, the whole shebang. Go totally off the rails without me there.
You're like the Marty Scorsese of the round table. I don't know that the people like the round table. All right, I'm not going to say they don't like it because of you, but that would be mean. But I'm also
I set you all up for success is what my job is.
Lisa says, I'd like to thank me. Yes. Yeah, you tee us up.
Tommy Pham. I'm proud of myself.
Proud of myself.
I'm proud of myself.
All business. I like
the
it.
success of the round table.
That is unbelievable. Matt says, I'm drowning at work, but I had to pop in to LMAO. This guy, I was on his side. I was like, bro, I got your back. And now he's like, I can't leave it to you. You're an idiot.
You didn't use those exact words. Said I don't like to crowdsource my topics.
This is so good. You're so
And
good.
You've taught me that it's always better to have some
I'm proud of
impromptu
myself.
radio.
Oh, yeah.
So if
Always
everyone
better.
knew all the topics beforehand, I feel like it might get a little stuffy during the round table.
Oh, for sure. I agree with that. But, listen, this is an outlier, as Mike Shildt likes
That
to
is
say.
true. This is an outlier day for the Ben and Wood Show.
Yeah, no doubt. So I think, if anybody has any ideas, if you're listening right now, please come to the table with them. The round table, as it were.
The Throwback Thursday is often about some of the outliers that we've had over the years.
Sure.
And Paulie's got a couple of moments that we can revisit from past Ben and Woods years around this time.
Yeah, let's start one of our older clips here. This would have been 2020, June 18th, 2020. You guys were in the Corona Cave. About 2 or 3 months in at this point, probably 2 months in. And we weren't on YouTube yet. We weren't on camera. So, people don't know. They can't see what's going on in the background. And boy, were you guys easily distracted.
We had a moment.
Corona Cave.
The Corona Cave is located in a rustic area of town. So
out in the country,
Yes.
as it were.
I think it signs a one-year deal. Yep. 1 year deal with the Chargers. Justin Herbert is 2 Coyotes right there.
Oh, my God, yeah, it
outside
is.
the Corona Cave.
Little
Whoa.
guys.
Careful. Inside the gates
God,
here.
they're so cute, too.
Yeah, I'm going to tell my dad he does not like that.
Sweet little angels.
He'll probably hear actually on the show. I won't even need to text.
Will I hear a shotgun soon?
No,
or-
no. But
Sorry,
maybe a
everybody.
loud banging noise. They're heading around toward the backyard, Mom.
Yeah, they're listening. Sorry, we got distracted. Look, a squirrel.
Yeah. So what was I saying about Colin Kaepernick?
That was we were still like a month out from baseball returning.
At that point, we're wondering in the pandemic, are the wild animals just going to take over now?
Correct.
We're all locked away.
Yeah.
The world is now reverting to its primordial state out there.
Correct. Yeah, it was like Mad Max Thunderdome for a while there. Couldn't find a chicken breast anywhere in the grocery store. Not one. Not one piece of chicken was able to be found. The toilet paper hoarding. What a time. What a time to be alive it was.
And then our next clip comes from 1 year ago tomorrow. So we have our YouTube channel, and on our YouTube channel we have memberships. You don't have to do it, but if you want to support the show, you can do that in $5 a month increments or $10 a month increments. The $10 will get you access to a monthly member stream. We will go live on YouTube for hour and a half, once a month, chat with everybody, and that is for your $10 donations. And we had an issue this time last year on the member stream where Woodsy, shocker, could not get his AirPods to connect to his computer. So we're sitting there talking. We can hear him. Everybody can hear Woods, and he has no idea. He doesn't even know if his mic's on or not. Ben is trying to jam some ridiculous Chargers stories down everyone's throat that nobody really asked for.
He really
I had a
audio
colleague,
AirPods.
She runs the teleprompter on Mondays, and she said something. She's not a sports fan really at all.
Just slamming the keyboard.
I watch your highlights of the Padres and just feels so much like the Chargers. And you know how they
Now I have it on. Now I have these things off, and it's still not working.
They're supposed to win. Can you mute him?
I'm telling you, it's not my fault. It's these damn kids. They're probably in here messing with something.
He has no idea he's interrupting your story.
Ben's just going to full back it.
Just mic all
But
stuff.
anyway, I thought she had a good point.
Oh, my God.
This Padres team does feel like at least 5 or 6 of those Chargers teams that like baffled you how they could lose games. Like what's going on?
Don't you mute my mic? The volume's up.
Look, he keeps
Mute's off. Like insane. I got nothing. I'm telling you. Bro, get your ass to bed. I can't get it in my computer or anything. Nothing.
I'm not doing a 2-hour
Bro,
monologue.
I'm serious. Like, I can't even get the speaker away. It sounded like you were.
To do that.
All right.
Oh man. Beef wants me to continue my story. What was just the story about the chart? It was just the fact that she's not even a sports fan, and she kind of made a point that I thought was actually pretty valid. That it does feel like losses the Chargers would have had. You got to invent creative ways to lose. You're not bad
Can
enough.
you hear us now?
Yes.
Like you're not bad enough to just lose and get beat.
Still going.
You have to come up with creative, weird ways to lose, and that's what this season feels like.
Ben was starting to tell that story, and Woods was just going ballistic.
Did I interrupt you with Chargers stories?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's funny. Andros makes the point. I was going to make the exact same point. It's crazy how we're still saying the same thing about the Padres today, a year to the day later, finding new ways to lose. It's nothing's really changed. The more things change, the more they stay the same, as we know. Time is, in fact.
It's infecting the San Diego Wave, who are finding weird ways to lose. Like last night, tied 1-1 late in the game. They gave up this unbelievable goal last night.
Like
to lose
unbelievably
2-1.
great?
Great, yeah.
Okay.
From a player who's like a defender who came in late in the game, who's not even an offensive player. She reached around the Wave player with her right foot to get the ball out of the air, kicked it to her left foot, and then slammed it past the goalkeeper. It's like one of the best goals you'll ever see. And, of course, the Wave are on the wrong end of it, and they still haven't won a road game all year long.
Oh, man.
The San Diego sports thing is strong right now.
It's really bubbling up right now. Should we do an energy cleanser? Because that worked so well last year when we had the guy come in.
The energy healer.
The energy healer. That bit.
That was around this time last year, wasn't it?
We got
felt like maybe July when we had the energy healer in.
Was that last year? Or was that
It was last year?
I think it was last year.
We've done it every year, I think, but last year we had that guy, and he had
Yeah.
oh man, we got killed. We got killed. It made me reluctant to even do like
he
a bit.
said like I see in 3 weeks things turning around.
Oh my God.
But they didn't really turn around in 3 weeks.
We got crushed for that. It made me like reluctant to even like do bits or jokes anymore. It really did.
People thought that was worse than That's What's In, guys.
I know. They were so mad at us. I'm like, bro, we're trying to help. We're trying to help.
That's what's in.
Bryce is going to lose. Manny's going to cruise. That's what's in.
Manny's not cruising.
He's definitely not cruising.
Bryce is not losing either.
Nope.
Well, he did lose yesterday
Lost
despite
yesterday.
hitting 2 home runs, but they did lose the game to the Padres yesterday.
Indeed, they did.
All right, Eno Sarris joins us every Thursday from The Athletic. He is one of the smartest baseball reporters, analysts out there, and we are lucky enough to have him each week join us for our Smart Baseball segment. That is coming up next with Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. The blizzard of 77. I remember it well, Will Woods. Growing up here in San Diego.
I've never known what that refers to, but I love the song.
See, there was a very cold spell back in 77.
Somewhere.
A blizzard. Somewhere. I'm sure there was. Eno Sarris usually joins us from his locale up in NoCal. He's standing by. We'll get to our Smart Baseball segment right after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware on University Avenue in Hillcrest. Still a number of problems, especially in the North County. Now, southbound side of the 5 before La Costa got a collision over the right shoulder. Up ahead, Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows this crash still blocking the HOV lane just past Birmingham. A couple of accidents along northbound 15, one just past the 52, trying to clear that out of the HOV lane. Then up ahead for the 56, another accident. That's over to the right shoulder. We also have reports of a collision on westbound King Freeway, Home Avenue. Those vehicles are over to the right shoulder. The Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware on University Avenue in Hillcrest. Purchase a grill this week, and your first cookout is free, courtesy of Omaha Steaks. That's a dozen free burgers and a dozen free franks. The Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware, where service still matters. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
One of these days, our voice guy is going to get that right the first time.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Not yet, as we welcome Eno
screwing up.
Eno Sarris from The Athletic to the program. Eno, hope you're having a good week. Good morning.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. Yeah, absolutely.
It is good to have you. I saw your tweets about Willie Mays. I know you're a Bay Area guy. Just give it to us right now, man. Your thoughts on the passing of Willie Mays.
I think he was the best player of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a bias, to the Bay Area. I didn't actually see him play physically, but when you just look at something like Fangraphs WAR, he's third, and he's behind a guy in Babe Ruth that, no fault of his own, didn't play the entire player pool pre-integration baseball. And then the other guy he's behind is Barry Bonds, who has obvious flaws with just looking at the numbers without context. And then just in terms of how he played on the field, he has like two or three of the most iconic plays in the history of baseball. The catch, he has a play that we call the catch.
Yeah, the catch.
Everybody knows. Yeah, everybody knows what it was. Just a complete all-around player, super exciting, and had his own sort of interesting way of combating racism and dealing with all that while just playing, crazy-ass baseball. And if you look and you say, oh, well, why didn't he win more MVPs? I don't know why he didn't win more MVPs. They didn't know about WAR back then, but he led the National League in WAR 10 times. It was a little bit like Mike Trout, where he didn't win the award every year because people maybe got tired of him or something. But he should have won more MVPs.
One of the great things about baseball is we can go back and compare the numbers from different eras, and you can even apply modern stats, at least most of them, to older ball players like WAR. Now, how do you compare eras, though? Because you just pointed out there are certain discrepancies between the talent pool, obviously technology that has gotten better, pitchers who throw harder nowadays. How do you kind of philosophically approach comparing players of different eras?
It's super hard. It's impossible. I mean, I have to do this once a year when you do my Hall of Fame vote, and there's so much context that can pop into your head, and you just kind of have to sort through and decide what you feel is important. I mean, it can be super complicated, like stuff like, how much does off-field stuff matter? Am I going to count this? Am I going to count that? And then on top of that, you have also these things like, we're probably not going to have another 300-game winner as a starting pitcher going forward.
Right.
we may never, but just because of the way that starting pitchers are used, how many innings they throw. And so if you like have these hard and fast 500 home runs, 300 wins, that's how you get in the Hall of Fame, then you lose a lot of players, and you may never elect another starting pitcher to the Hall of Fame, which seems wrong. So you kind of have to look at trends in each of these times. You have to think your way back to those times. And you, again, like I think I've said this on this show before, like no number is just a number without context. I mean, there's so much more to it that, even as a numbers guy, I try not to end arguments with numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the way I look at it, in a sport like football, if you took like offensive linemen from the 1960s and put them out there today, they look like a JV team. Even Hall of Famers wouldn't.
They just get trucked.
Just wouldn't even be able to compete. Now, does that make today's player better? Then I think you have to kind of ignore some of the effects of the modern technology and training techniques when you're comparing, because otherwise. Yeah, I'm sure there's way faster swing speeds now, way faster. Obviously, we know velocity is higher and higher and higher. That doesn't necessarily make you a better ball player. You just were born conveniently later than some other guys.
Well, that's an interesting question. One thing in the Hall of Fame specifically, we are putting fewer people in the Hall of Fame now than we did before, which seems weird. That seems like maybe an overcorrection. But we just had a player poll on The Athletic. And one of the things that modern players are most annoyed about is ex-players saying that they were better, or that these guys that are, their batting average is down, the strikeouts are up, it's their fault. And it's not, it's not, it's not that the pitching is good now. It's just that the hitters are bad. That was like one of the major complaints of modern players, thinking that, no, we're better now, and in fact, I have a piece coming out where I was asking people, I'm a piece coming out tomorrow with Jason Stark about the run environment, and we were asking people, and hitters today think that pitching has never been better.
It's hard to disagree with that. When you watch, 22 inches of run on a two-seamer from Michael King, or Matt Waldron's knuckleball, or whatever, Robert Suarez's fastball. I mean, it's hard to.
It's like you used to have knuckleballers.
Sure.
We have a knuckleballer who has 5 other pitches.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you knew you were just going to go up there and swing at 3 knuckleballs maybe, and maybe one would hang and you would hit it. But yeah, it's a different world, man. It's hard to argue that point. One thing, switching gears a little bit, talking to Eno Sarris from The Athletic here on Ben and Woods. I know you talked about it on your most recent Rates and Barrels. I have not had a chance to listen. We have not even talked about it yet. We've been a little bit under the gun. We had our golf tournament yesterday. We were planning, Pat Hoberg.
Oh yeah, it must be terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. Pat Hoberg, who is widely known around baseball. He's an umpire. He's the guy with the perfect game in the playoffs last year. Didn't miss a call. Has a really good, consistent.
One of the better umpires.
One of the better umpires. He just got popped by Major League Baseball for gambling, and I feel like obviously it should be a bigger story than it is. Can you kind of update us and our audience on that story right now?
I think it's maybe a bombshell in the waiting. The problem right now is that there's an appeal process going on right now where he has been disciplined in some way that we don't even know what the discipline is. They won't tell us what the discipline is until the appeal is heard. And because there's an appeal underway, it's kind of like I can't talk about an open case deal, where like,
right.
You're just not getting anything out of anybody involved. All we know is that something to do with betting. We don't even know if it was betting on baseball or other sports, but he's appealed it, and the umpires union is a fairly strong union. I mean,
I'd say so.
They've got some power. And the only statement he released was like, "I'm happy that the union is on my side and helping me out on this one." So, we can't see all the way in. But I will say this, I'm pretty sure that the process is that Manfred handed down the discipline, and Manfred is hearing the appeal. So I can't imagine the appeal is going to go that well.
Well, so my question, I guess, if it goes badly for him and it turns out he was betting on baseball, he's done. He's done for life. Yeah, I mean that we just saw Tucapito Marcano.
Yeah, but then they're saying things like, it didn't affect the outcome of any games. So
wow,
maybe he didn't bet on his own games, like remember Tim Donaghy.
Yes, but maybe he knows that so and so is a crap umpire and he's behind the game.
We all know that.
Yeah, but right. I mean, it. There's a lot of information that he has that the betting public doesn't have, and I think it should extend to umpires, especially umpires who can literally control the game. And what a slippery slope this all is.
It's terrible, and they're. To some extent, they made their bet. They are in bed with
they're in
with the betting money, and now every pre and post game show has parlays. You'll be listening to the middle of a game, and they'll bring up a bet. And so it is kind of two-faced a little bit, but it is also super important for them to police this and to find everybody and to be on top of it. They're lucky that Tucupita Marcano was bad at betting.
Yes, horrible, one of the worst ever.
Yeah. But there's a couple things going on. The underlying thing is just like it can be an addiction. And when I read the Marcano story, it read like an addiction. The Jonte Porter story read like an addiction. And there's been a kind of an undercovered aspect. You do hear that long disclaimer a lot of times, like called whatever, the betting hotline or whatever, if you're addicted or whatever. But the more that this is legal, the more that it's accessible to people that could become addicted. And so that's a kind of an undercovered aspect of it, I think.
Eno Sarris is with us from The Athletic. Here's a question that I'm sure you can offer some insight in. We have a number of older veteran pitchers who are either just back or are coming back. Garrett Cole yesterday, Max Scherzer this week. We're seeing Clayton Kershaw throwing. Jacob deGrom is even throwing now. What are you going to be looking for to determine, how close to the pre-injury levels they're at? How long does it take before you can kind of tell with Stuff Plus what kind of pitchers they're still going to be when they return to the mound?
As little as one start. And not to be facetious, but maybe as little as 5 fastballs. I mean, the amount of information you get from just something as simple as fastball velocity in their first start back is kind of staggering, actually. And so if you just want to know, much of Musgrove's struggles can be explained by if you look at his fastball velos back to when he came back from the injury after Mexico last year. He's never had the same fastball since. And you could have seen that in one start coming back from Mexico after that injury after Mexico. And so it's a lot of information and pretty good news for Garrett Cole. And
he looked about the same then?
Comes back. Yeah.
And I know, Woods, you saw Clayton Kershaw look like he still had some spin on the curveball.
Bro, he threw a curveball yesterday that I was like, that's
actually,
that's
no,
vintage.
I'm looking at this. Cole's Stuff Plus is decent, but 94.7 on the fastball yesterday.
A little bit down for him, yeah, certainly.
Yeah, he's been a guy who averaged 98 in 22.
Eno Sarris joins us here. Jeremiah Estrada has been a really interesting pickup for the San Diego Padres this year and has scuffled a little bit as of late. Have you been following along with this young man and his stuff and what, his chitter that he throws? Of course, everyone has a name for their pitch now. The chitter, you have to be very careful when you say it on the radio, but that's what he calls it. Again, the chitter. And but he's been, for him, he's given up some long balls. What are you seeing for him? Do you think it potentially could be overuse for him, or is it just kind of a little downstretch?
He was an amazing waiver wire pickup that I loved the minute it happened. I still can't believe that the Cubs let him go. He would be the Cubs closer right now.
He would, yeah, 100%.
If he was there. And I just think that, the thing that they were probably focused on is that he doesn't have great command. And his velo was down a little bit in 2023 with the Cubs. And, having not great command and the velo down, that must be how they made their decision. But I still the Stuff Plus still loved him in that condition. And so what you're seeing this year is the new pitch is a big deal, but also just the ups and downs, I think, are just related to command. Command can manifest itself in walks or sometimes meatballs.
Yeah.
If you sometimes you just let it groove down the middle of the plate when you're trying to be more fine with it. So I think this is just the kind of lumps that you'll get with a guy that is, incredible stuff and not so incredible command.
Eno, we thank you very much. And as always, a reminder that our entire conversation with Eno, including the part about gambling, has been brought to you by 7 Mile Casino. Just minutes from now.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466.
Thank you, Eno. As always, appreciate your time. Some of those guys, though, whether they come back, as themselves or not, will probably determine a great deal of how the rest of this season goes. Look at the Rangers. They have not had a good defense of their title start to the season, but if Scherzer and DeGrom come back at all like, previous versions of them, they're a completely different team.
Yeah.
The Dodgers do need Clayton Kershaw. We thought they'd be so deep it wouldn't matter, but Walker Buehler just went back on the injured list again. They haven't had the quite of the pitching depth that they thought they would, and they really could use Clayton Kershaw to come back and be something like Clayton Kershaw the last couple of months of the season if he does get back.
Yeah, I saw some clip of him breaking off an Uncle Charlie that was just vintage Kershaw. I mean, for some minor league kid down there, seeing that too was probably
and to a
pretty
lesser
astounding.
extent, if Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove can at some point come back and pitch like they pitch, it's a different San Diego Padres rotation than it is right now.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of questions that still are going to be answered by some of these bigger names, on the mound, starting pitchers as this season goes on.
Yeah, no question. And the Rangers have not they've not had a good. And again, I'm not surprised, man. You make a run to the World Series, there's some fall off certainly, but they're getting those guys back will be huge. DeGrom's been throwing. Scherzer could come back, and it is coming back.
Saturday, I think.
Yeah, potentially could help turn their season around as well. They got theirs though, so I'm sure they're happy.
We've reached the final hour of the program. Coming up momentarily, Paulie's going to give us some headlines in the Reindl Report. I do want to talk more about Manny Machado. We touched on it briefly, but the comments that he made both to Kevin Acee and AJ Castavell, two different pieces, but definitely a more vulnerable Manny Machado.
Potentially.
Than we've maybe seen in the past. A little bit of that, nothing bothers me facade breaking down a little bit with the frustrations that he's going through this season. I thought very humanizing, but, everyone's got their own opinions, especially when it comes to Manny Machado. So talk about that in our final hour. All coming up next. It's more Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll have Mike Shildt on 24 hours from now on our Friday Managers Report at 9 p.m. tomorrow, or 9 a.m. tomorrow. If they win tonight, and they've got a couple of wins in a row, and they're back within a game of 500, he's going to be able to go, everything's fine.
Yeah,
everything's
we're good.
We had a little bad stretch there, but
So
back
we're
on
over
track. Everything's like I expect it to be.
Yeah.
They lose
Once you
again, and
idiots
they've
settle
lost
down.
6 of 7. Might be a little spicier. We'll see what happens tomorrow when we converse with the skipper, Mike Shildt, at 9 a.m.
It was interesting. Dennis Lynn's got a new piece that dropped in The Athletic. What's today?
Thursday.
June
so
20th. Yesterday, this came out. I liked what Jackson Merrill had to say. Winning that game at Citizens Bank Ballpark, he said, felt normal. And his quote was, we're used to it. We want to win as much as possible. It sucks coming off a tough little stretch, but it's in the past, behind us now. We're effing ballers here. We don't care. Great mentality. It really is. And that's a rookie with 70 games played in the big leagues, and one that has really been phenomenal for this baseball team, and certainly is becoming a massive fan favorite among the fan base. And
a little streaky, but man, when he's on, when he's locked in, he is so fun to watch. He's 21 years old.
He's been great, and I love that attitude. It's a tough little stretch, but it's in the past. We're effing ballers here. We don't care.
Well, I mean,
that's what Shildt always says. He always says that about these guys.
They are used to winning, and in just such a bizarre National League standings. The Padres have won more games than all but 4 teams in the National League, and they've lost more games than all but 2 teams in the National League. They continue to have more games played than anyone. They're like still a week ahead of some teams. But you asked me about the standings, and I mean, is there a universe where the Rockies or Marlins come back? Maybe, but that's like a 1 in 1,000 chance.
Yeah.
I think the Phillies, Dodgers, Brewers, and Braves are all pretty solidly heading toward the postseason, which leaves 2 spots left for 9 teams. 9 teams that are all pretty much in the exact same boat as we hit the midway point of the season. They're all separated by just a game and a half. Right now, it's the Nationals and the Cardinals who are on top of the Padres, Diamondbacks, and Pirates, a half game behind. Cubs and Giants and Mets, 1 game behind, and Reds a game and a half behind. Over a half of a season, that's barely anything. The 2 teams that play the best out of those 9, the second half of the season, will likely go to the playoffs. The other 7 will not.
Still, in my opinion, too early to worry about it.
It's too early to worry about it.
Said it. He said
but
it.
that's
He said the words too early.
Too early? No. I didn't
too
say
early.
It's still early. I said it's too early to worry about.
Not the Padres, the standings.
The standings.
Yeah.
No, I'm worried sick about the Padres.
But it's not. It's late enough.
My hair's falling out.
That I think you can confidently say, under most circumstances, 2 of those 9 teams will make the playoffs.
Chaos. It's chaos right now.
If you want to make the playoffs, you have to play better than 7 or 6 of the other teams.
Correct.
The Cardinals, the Nationals, the Diamondbacks, the Pirates, the Cubs, the Giants, the Mets, and the Reds.
And you feel like you can do it. Now, whether you do it is up to you, not up to me, not up to Ben, not up to Shildt. It's up to you guys to do that. Dennis also said, this is pretty sobering. The Padres already know this, at least. To finish with 84 wins, which might be enough to sneak into the postseason, and based on how things are trending, I think it will, they would have to go 46-38 over their next 84 games. That was before yesterday. So,
7 games above 500 now.
Correct. San Diego won at least 46 games in an 84-game stretch in both 21 and 22. But since the start of last season, it has repeatedly failed to achieve such consistency. Yeah, 46-38 potentially gets it done. Potentially, though. And I look at this team, and there are days when I go, yeah, they can do it. And then there's days I go, oh, no. What you can't have happen are those 5-game skids. Those are just what's murdering.
3 5-game losing streaks.
It's brutal.
They've had 1 4-game winning streak.
It doesn't, and the math is not going to math at the end of the year if that keeps up. Got to staunch the bleeding somehow. And if it's players that you need, I'm sure AJ Preller, and that's kind of what the basis of this article was about. How much leash is A.J. Preller going to get, to go out and do what he feels needs to be done? And I think there's a part of the fan base that is like, all right, let's just keep rolling with what we've got. He's probably not going anywhere. I've accepted it. Go out and try to make this team better. And then there are people that have
I mean, the argument for going for it is none of those 9 teams, none of those 8 other teams that I mentioned, are exactly world beaters right now.
But the argument
they're
for
all
going
highly mediocre.
The argument for going forward is always the same. trying to win. That's it. The argument for going forward is we're trying to win baseball games. We're going to do what we have to do to win baseball games this year. I don't know, after 10 years, at the helm, I don't know that he's ever going to say, I think I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to be a little conservative now and try not to win games.
I mean, he's been the seller before in, the early seasons of his general managerial tenure.
That was a long time ago. The current trend of the San Diego Padres and A.J. Preller.
The team with the top half payroll has always been buyers.
Correct. Yeah, so I just, I hate to say grin and bear it, but I think there are people like, good, I can't wait to see what he's cooking up. I mean, it's, you're going to have different perspectives throughout. That's what makes being a fan great. You can have your own perspective. Mine goes from day to day. This team makes me go, buy it, sell it, buy it, sell it, buy it, sell it. I don't know how to feel. And I've felt that way for 2 straight years, like maybe 2.5.
All right, we'll have a ton of Padres talk coming up on our commercial-free roundtable presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza at 10 o'clock. Right now, though, Paulie's got some other headlines for us in the Reindl Report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right. Good morning, my friends.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Saw a clip going around. I think was this yesterday that Tom Brady made an appearance on The Herd with Colin Cowherd, who not a fan. I don't think any of us are much of a fan of Colin Cowherd, but he does get
Speak
good
for
guests.
yourself.
Oh.
Really?
I don't hate Colin Cowherd.
I don't hate him.
I do not.
I only hate him talking baseball, honestly.
Fair enough.
His baseball
Fair
talks
enough.
is,
But
terrible.
I find his takes to usually be
semi-reasonable.
pretty spot on. Yeah.
Just don't take his gambling advice.
100%.
They always show those clips. Like, awful announcing will be like, here's Colin's 6 locks of the NFL week. 0-6.
0-6.
Every single time. Anyways, I digress. Tom Brady was on the show yesterday, and now Tom Brady getting ready to call NFL games for Fox Sports this upcoming season. Finally, he's had that contract in waiting for like 3 years now, and he got a little practice with the UFL championship over the weekend.
What a great game that was, too.
Goodness.
Oh, I loved it.
Did you see that?
I
That
did.
was
It was awesome.
Unbelievable. When the team
beat that other
team.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then Tom Brady was calling it?
Yeah, it was
No,
cool.
that was really,
I love the UFL.
really great.
I need more football.
The NFL season isn't a big enough beating.
Yeah.
Did you see the second half when the one team scored?
Yeah. it was good.
Wow, yeah.
It's great. It's good. So here's a little bit of Tom Brady talking about kind of his mentality and his technique going into his broadcasting career. I want you guys to hear it, and I want to hear your thoughts on if you think Tom Brady's going to be good in the booth, because we've seen the former player step into the booth, and it's not great.
Not always great.
When you watch the tapes, do you notice a difference with you?
Yeah, I would say yes, and I also think there's still so much more room for improvement. And it's almost like when I was a player, I never felt like I did things the right way. There were games where I'd go in afterward and think, God, I'm the worst quarterback in the NFL. Like, why would they even want me to play quarterback for this team? And I'm sure I'm going to feel that way here at Fox, where I finish a game and I go, God, I didn't even give them what they wanted. And it's a very challenging thing in your own mind. I've asked a few people, like, how do you know that you did a good job? And I think for me, so much of this is going to come down to the preparation. And did I feel like I was prepared? Did I feel like our crew was prepared? Did I give them the best over the course of the week so that we could give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful for the fans? Because really the game is the show. We're there to add our take on it in our analysis. But it's also, did we feel like we added to the broadcast? And from my standpoint, I'm going to work as hard as I can in the process of it, as you talked about earlier, to make sure that I do deliver, because I don't want to let anyone down. I don't want to let the people at Fox here down, and I certainly don't want to let the great NFL fans down either.
He's doing it wrong. He's doing this
Doing
wrong.
it wrong.
He's
Really?
doing it wrong. Yeah. He's doing it wrong.
Well, he's spot on that when you're in a job like this, you tend to remember the bad moments over the good ones.
What
Like,
he's
I wish
going-
I had said this instead of that. I could have done better in this segment.
What he's going through right now is called imposter syndrome. I live it every day, and it's not easy to deal with, and you feel it some days. I'll go months without feeling it. When it hits me, it hurts, and it sucks, and it's painful. Then I always try to remember, be yourself, have energy. That's the only two pieces of advice I need to give to Tom Brady.
To give you credit, you jumped into sports radio really fully with us.
Yeah.
When this show
Fully.
started 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And that imposter syndrome, you had that for
I
6
still
months.
do. Still have
but
it.
you really had it for those first 6 months. I remember you saying
I wanted to
I just
die.
I'd get in a fight with my wife. She's dealing with the baby, and I'm like, I got to watch this Cleveland Cavaliers game because I'm a
Right.
sports guy now, and
Yeah.
we're talking about sports. And then when you decided, no, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be authentic. That's when this show really hit its stride.
It is the worst feeling, and I've had it in other jobs too, sales and whatever. You run through it. When you're on a good run and things are going well, you don't feel it, right? But what Tom Brady, the preparation thing is what worries me about Tom Brady. And I know he was a quarterback that prepared a lot. You can absolutely over-prepare for this. Absolutely. You can under-prepare, certainly. We are all guilty of that today, I would say. But you can absolutely over-prepare. No one wants to hear Tom Brady talking about anything other than what it means to be Tom Brady. And what did that quarterback see there, Tom? I don't know. And the guy next to you doesn't know. He's never lived it with two defensive ends coming at him wanting to kill him. What does that feel like? Like, that's what we want to know. Tony Romo was really good when he first started because he was just himself. I feel like they tried to change him. I feel like they tried to pull him back a little bit. But when he started, we were all like, bro, he's calling the plays. This is fantastic. Like, I've never heard anything like this. This is amazing. Why did you change? Be yourself. Be the 7-time Super Bowl winner, Tom Brady. No one else can say that, man.
Yeah.
You are an elite quarterback. That's what I want. I don't want to hear him talking about the technique of the cornerback and what he needs. No. You can over-prepare.
Even if you are prepared for that,
Correct.
that's not really your wheelhouse to add to the broadcast.
Be yourself. Be
I
yourself.
will say I had the same imposter syndrome when I first started in television. Because I didn't come up like everybody else that I knew in television and work in the little small markets and then work in a bigger market and then a bigger market. I just started working from radio to TV right here in San Diego, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and I looked at other people who did, and I constantly felt like I don't belong here yet, at least. I'm not there yet, but here I am having to do this job every day.
And look at you now. You won't even let anybody write any round
Other
table
questions.
questions. Yeah, because yours are the best.
And I don't feel like an imposter anymore.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine as long as he doesn't try too hard to be an analyst and is just Tom Brady. Just be Tom Brady.
All right, next story up here. I saw that the former voice of the Angels, Victor Rojas, former broadcaster, he went on a podcast recently, the Angels Win podcast, and absolutely torched the Los Angeles Angels.
Victor Rojas was the name?
Yeah, Victor Rojas. He was play-by-play for the team.
Oh, that's right.
He interviewed, actually, for their GM position a few years back. Didn't get it. And he went off on the Angels. I mean, this is a franchise that won a World Series back in 2002 and hasn't really done a thing since. And some of the highlights here, it was transcribed from the podcast. It's this vicious cycle that you continue to go at. I've said this ad nauseum, Rojas said. At some point, you have to make a decision that's different from what you've been making for the last 13 or 14 years, because the same stuff that continues to happen to the organization on and off the field are really generated from the same people. What does it hurt to wipe the whiteboard down and start anew? Something fresh. They started talking about having guys like Chuck Finley and Torrey Hunter, former players. They'd give them uniforms and put them in the dugout to more eyes and ears, try to help what's going on with the team. He said that was organizational eyewash.
Ooh, eyewash, big topic today.
He said that's false hustle stuff coming from the organization saying, hey, look, we're doing something. We're bringing back guys. Well, blank word. Why didn't you do that for the last 12, 14, 15 years? Why don't you have a fan fest? Why haven't you had an old timers thing or similar to fantasy camp where the guys, fans can play with these greats instead of just sticking them in the dugout and be like, look, we're trying something. He went off on the organization.
It's hard, though, to do the whiteboard thing. Just erase it completely and start over because there's a chance that you mess it up even worse than you had it already.
Well,
and now you're in the beginning stages of something that's even worse than you were before. So you keep chasing something that you feel like we're not that far away. If we just stick to our plan and stick to it, it's going to work eventually.
But they are that far away.
Is there not some of that going on with the Padres? That we're so close. If we just stick to it, if we just get this player or that player, we're right there. We play well a lot. Just stick to it.
I think they feel that, certainly.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really wants to erase the whiteboard of the San Diego Padres. They want this team to work.
Correct.
They want it to work with this team.
Correct.
In the case of the Angels, he's talking about, they don't even have a fan fest.
Right.
Remember, they stopped letting the announcers travel with the team for the radio broadcasts.
They make a lot of bonehead
There's
decisions.
teams that try, and there's teams that don't try.
He says all those things have been there for you to do, and you've never done it. It's like, why? What's the point? How has it been working out for you? Clearly, it's not. So effing wake up and do something about it. At some point, somebody's got to wake up and clear the cobwebs.
Not trying, though, is very safe because if you fail and you didn't even try, you can't really feel that bad. It's like, well, we weren't really even going for it anyway. The most dangerous thing to do in any job, any sport, is to try. Because then when you fail, there's really nowhere else to go. Padres have been trying really hard the last 2 years. Don't have a lot to show for it.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to be.
It is.
And finally, very quickly here, a attorney in Ohio was recently reinstated. He was suspended for a year. I don't think we've ever talked about why he was suspended.
Because he was a cat.
He's not a cat.
No. But he's an older man, 75 years old, in fact. He's been practicing law for 50 years.
Okay.
And the reason he was suspended, he's now back practicing law, but he was suspended because it came out that he would go make a doo-doo in a empty Pringles can.
That's it for me.
And then he would drive
What
around.
did he do with the can?
He would drive around and toss them into the parking lots of his opposition in court.
All right, that's something to consider. Who's our biggest threat out there?
I mean, does anyone, if you see it, did he put the lid back on or not?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
If you see a Pringles can,
that means you pick it up and eat it.
You're not opening it. I'm throwing it away. I'll never know what was in there.
If I pulled up to the parking spot here at Odyssey tomorrow and there was a Pringles can next to me, I might give it a kick. I might pick it up and throw it in the garbage. I think that's what he's counting on, is someone in that office to say,
oh my God,
who's littering, throwing Pringles cans in our office, in our parking lot? You pick it up, you go, oh my God. All right, how'd they catch him?
But if the lid's on, Pringles cans are pretty sealed. Like,
the lid's
hermetically sealed. So you don't even know what's in there.
You can look in there.
It's opaque, though.
It is opaque.
It's an opaque top.
It is. It's not a clear top.
No.
He was pooping in the Pringles can. That's not the worst idea.
I mean, if I
ever
had to go camping,
he left the top
off. Oh, that's gross. If you ever had to go camping, that's not like one of those places that don't have bathrooms.
But if
Pringles
you're
can's
camping,
not the
you just
worst.
go in the woods and cover it up.
No, you have to carry it out.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
You
So
can't
he
just
would,
leave it in the
I thought you
woods.
covered it up in the dirt.
You
I
got to
don't
pack
camp.
out. You got to pack everything out.
Really?
Like if you're in a national park or something.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
They have
Says
bathrooms
he would do his thing.
Sometimes they don't.
He would do his thing into a can, and then he would drive about 20 minutes from his home to parking lots of victim advocacy centers who were representing the people that he was going up against in court.
Oh, my God.
And then says here that, surveillance video showed him slowly driving past the parking lot at least twice before he threw the Pringles can
What is
into
a
the
Pringles
parking lot.
can?
Did I say Pringles?
Yes.
Pringles can.
KG says, what if you took 60% of the Pringles out, pooped, and then put a few on top? And put
Genius.
the lid
Now
back on?
that's... Yeah, East County Chris says poop is biodegradable. Yeah, the animals in there don't carry it out.
I think you're supposed, like toilet paper and stuff, you need to take out with you.
Bob, did I say I was using toilet paper?
You better be using
Leaves.
toilet paper. Leaves.
I mean, look, this sounds like
Poison
a prank.
Ivy?
This sounds like an awful prank 20-year-old Paul might have done, maybe.
No chance.
But not 74-year-old attorney.
The guy wants to win. Okay? He really wants to win.
Did it have any effect on the cases at all?
I doubt it.
Did it
And by the
demoralize
way,
the opponent so much?
He really wanted
20-year-old
to, like,
Paul would not have done that. That's
No.
disgusting.
I'm fascinated by this guy.
You would not use leaves.
Sure, I would have
No,
had to.
leaves.
I used my golf towel in Kansas.
Yes, you did. Still, that's better than leaves.
That's true.
We've got some Doobie Brothers tickets to give away. We can do that in our next segment if you're listening for the Sounder to win. And then the Milwaukee Brewers in town tonight at a homestand opener for the Padres. We'll talk about it all coming up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. But what a fool believes. All right, if you're listening, Alex just won the Doobie Brothers tickets during the break. You can still get your own Doobie Brothers seats for their show at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on June 25th. Limited tickets remain at Ticketmaster.com. But, Alex, congratulations. Way to pay attention and call in at the right moment to win those tickets to the Doobie Brothers. We've got a little bit over a half an hour left.
Yeah.
And I want to spend some of it talking about Manny Machado. We'll also get into it on the round table as well. But the comments that he made, both to Kevin Acee and AJ Cassavell to a certain extent as well, following his recent struggles, and the fact that he's admitting what we've all seen with our own eyes. He's nowhere near 100% Manny, and almost certainly the biggest contributing factor is the elbow surgery, which he hasn't come back from 100%. Even if he's starting to feel better, he can't get his old swing back yet. It's not, I think, what does he call it? He's not getting into his slot. To mangle those pitches over the middle that usually he mangles so well.
It's got to be he's
just not doing it.
It's got to be an awful feeling. It's just an awful feeling to know that you're so good at something and you just can't quite get there, and you're just a tick away. Maybe
it's the question that we're going to be discussing, and you can give me a little preview here. Manny says, I'm better at 70% than other guys at 100%, but how do you make that evaluation? I mean, you can't
in your mind.
He can't break out if he's not playing. If he's not on the field, he can't break out. But at some point, do you have to say, Manny, take a couple of weeks off?
Right.
Put you on the IL. Let's come back strong for the final 3 months of the season. But I think you need a break at some point. And he may still be right. He may be better than calling up. Although Eggy Rosario's been hot at AAA lately. But is Tyler Wade really going to be the answer for 2 weeks? Or are you just robbing yourselves of 2 weeks of Manny Machado when maybe, 5 games in, he hits a stride and gets hot, and all of a sudden he's going. And instead, you'll never know because he's sitting, on the bench on the injured list for those 2 weeks.
I have no idea. All I know is that it's like Adam Jones said earlier, and again, they came up in the same era, but all I know is that when the skipper asks you, can you go? And a player says yes, I think you're going to pencil him in the lineup. Now, the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same things over and over and over, expecting different results, as you know. Manny was in that series, 4 for 13, no RBI, 615 OPS in the series, in the series against Philly. So I it's not terrible, but it's certainly not Manny Machado-like, and had a chance to, drive in some runs and wasn't able to do it. So I think it would be hard for Mike Shildt or AJ Preller even to say, you're going on the IL. No, I can play. Why would you?
So it has to be Manny who makes that decision.
Which he's not going to do. So you're in this
mentally incapable of making that decision himself.
It's like this stalemate, and I don't think it's like I don't think it's a bad quality to have to want to show up.
I think Manny knows, though, if you could promise him that if he took 2 weeks off, he'd come back feeling great and mashing, he'd go, sure, yes, that's what's best for the team. But it's hard for him to convince what's best for the team is him sitting down.
If you told Manny that giving him a fryer cut would get him to mash and hit 30 bombs again, he would do it. He would absolutely do it. But I don't know, man. I do get the sense sometimes.
But we don't know that sitting is going to help Manny at all. It may just make him take longer to get back. He may need to play more and more to finally get where he needs to be to find that slot. I don't think he can find the slot just sitting there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the answer is here.
I really don't. I really, really don't. I don't know what the answer is either. If you sit him, you're going to have, potentially, you're going to have to do a lot of mixing. Donovan Solano, by the way, is 8 for his last 51 with 16 strikeouts. So I don't know that he's the answer. You're going to call up Eggy, who goes down at that point. What do you do? What do you do to?
Well, if Manny's on the injured list,
Manny would be on the IL.
Call him up.
So you can call up Eggy. And is Eggy Rosario for 10 days, 10 games, whatever?
It's just hard to understand if any of those numbers at AAA really mean anything in the kind of ballparks they're playing in against the kind of pitching they're facing.
No, I get it. The Manny discourse has gone crazy in the last few weeks, certainly. I want what's best for him, and what I want to see is, I mean, what's he like defensively? Have we noticed a massive drop-off or anything there defensively? Is he getting to the balls that he usually does? You know, I haven't done the deep dive. I know what I see. I know that Manny, when they hit it to third, I feel pretty confident he's going to make the play. But I'm sure there's
More
somebody...
so than Donovan Solano.
Correct. Or Eggy Rosario.
Yeah.
Or Tyler Wade. I really do. I feel like...
In that sense, Manny at 70% is
correct.
As good as other players at 100%.
And defensively, sure. And somebody's going to hit me with some DRS or OAA or something that I'm not discounting.
But
I
remember,
just haven't
you're
looked at
comparing it to Donovan Solano or Eggy Rosario, the guys
Correct.
that you could put in at third base.
Yeah.
You're not comparing it to previous Manny.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know. I don't know that it's going to fix him taking 10 days off. I don't know that it's going to hurt him. I know it's not going to hurt him
I
physically.
know the narrative. If he took 2 weeks off or whatever,
I really
and he
feel
came
like-
back and he was hitting, no one would say, boy, wish he hadn't taken those 2 weeks off because he was mashing.
I
They'd
agree.
say, boy, that's just what he needed. What a smart thing to go away for a couple of weeks and come back
For
fixed.
sure.
I just don't know that that's going to fix him at all. He may need to play to fix himself, not sit to fix himself.
For sure.
You know, hopefully that's something that coaches and Manny knows better than the rest of us are ever going to know. What is the best for Manny Machado right now?
Yeah, 100%. I don't make that decision. I may at this point, as bad as it's gone, if I was in charge, Ben, I may nudge him towards the IL if that's where, you know, man, if your elbow is bumming you out and it's hurting you can't find the slot, take 10 days. But I think there is something when you make that much money, there is, and he's always been that way, you know, of like wanting to be in the lineup always. There is something there where you do feel obligated to play, even if you're not at your best.
But ultimately, it doesn't matter. The money has already been spent. It's been
Money is
committed to.
Correct.
At this point, you just make the best decisions for what's good for your team now and in the future. It doesn't matter how much. If a guy's making the minimum or $35 million a year,
Gotta do what's best for
make
the
the
team.
best decisions for your team. And I don't know what the best decision is. The best decision may actually be Manny just continuing to go out there every day or as often as he can. But at some point, you have to acknowledge the possibility that that's not the best decision for you right now. And getting Manny somehow healthier and going later is worth a couple of weeks off, even if it does mean you have to play a lesser player at third base for a while.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Now let's take a little time out. We'll come back. We've got a series against the Milwaukee Brewers starting tonight here on 97.3 The Fan. Take a look at some pitching matchups and what the Padres are facing in the Brew Crew when we return with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So earlier on Throwback Thursday, Paulie took us back to a couple of our moments, but we had one more Throwback Thursday item he wanted to share before we preview today's series opener against the Milwaukee Brewers. Paulie, what else do you have for us on Throwback Thursday?
Goodness. This was, let's see, get the date. Tomorrow. 5 years ago tomorrow.
It's a big one.
Got to be our earliest saved clip from our time here at 97.3 The Fan. We started, I think, on June 10th of that year.
That's right.
And
happy anniversary, guys.
Yeah, happy anniversary. So 11 days later, we had the legendary Ice Cube on the show.
Yes, we did.
He was talking to us about, he talked about everything, but he was there to promote the Big Three.
That was a good day.
It was a good day.
It was.
It was also a Friday. And
It was a
historically,
Friday also.
Historically, on Fridays, we do Ben Reed's Raps. Now, we did it at a different time, I think, this particular morning, because we had Ice Cube on the phone. And, well, I'll let the clip speak for itself.
You'll know why we do this bit every Friday. No, turn this mic off. Every Friday, we do this. And I thought it would be such an honor for all of us. Can he rap for you, and then you give us your honest feedback?
Yeah, I will.
All right, here we go. Let's get it going.
Let me just say that I don't want. This is not supposed to be disrespectful because you are an artist, as are all the great rappers. I do my best here. I'm just not very good at it.
The fact that he had to say that just shows you how white he is.
It really is bad, Cube. I'm sorry, and they've given me what is, I'm sure, one of your classics here.
Oh my God.
Break 'em. Just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kind of odd. No barking from the dog, no smog. And Mama cooked a breakfast with no hog. Damn. I got my grub on, but didn't pig out. Finally got a call from a girl I want to dig out. What's up? Hooked it up for later as I hit the dough, thinking that I will live another 24. Freaking in every way like MJ. I can't believe today was a good day.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
That's great rhyming structure. It really is good stuff. But.
Cube, all right, just Ben, quiet for a second. I want to get the honest feedback from the author of that song, Ice Cube.
Lord have mercy. You know, I've never had my lyrics butchered. Method Man. Now we got Mayonnaise Man.
It's one of the greatest lines. Mayonnaise Man. It was unbelievable.
Mayonnaise Man.
I am dead. I'm deceased.
It was
That's the
so
best
good.
moment I've ever had in radio. Right
That was
there.
it. I don't think of all the times I've heard that. I don't think I ever caught Cube correcting me on dough when I said do, and he goes dough.
He goes dough.
He's dough. He actually corrected me mid rap.
Yeah, you can hear him on the phone.
Hooked it up for later as I hit the dough.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. What a moment that was.
Lord have mercy.
That's my favorite part. Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy.
Proud of you,
Someone
man.
wrote cringe. I was literally cringing listening to it again.
You know how we have Method Man? Now we have Mayonnaise Man.
What a line. What a
Just
line.
on
off the
fly.
cuff, yeah.
Unbelievable.
That was off the cuff.
Bro, you got to rap to Ice Cube.
But I never wanted to.
It doesn't matter. You still got to do it. Not many can say
That's
that.
the thing. That the people who don't want it are the ones who get it.
God, he was.
It's like a legendary moment.
It was
It's so cool.
5 years ago. Tomorrow, Benny, is when that went down. That's a cool.
Maybe we make him rap another Ice Cube song.
That was a
tomorrow.
cool
It's a
moment.
Friday
Just for a
tomorrow
little-
too. How about
Yeah,
that?
why not?
Flashback Friday.
All right, why not?
That was a cool moment for this program for sure.
Let's check traffic and then we'll look ahead to a little Padres baseball homestand starting tonight next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by SDG&E. Wrapping up our morning drive with a couple of problems along the 805. Now, on the southbound side past Market Street, Caltrans is running a traffic brake to remove a refrigerator and some other large item out of the center divide. Yeah, crazy. South 805 past Market, so watch out for little activity there. And traffic advisory northbound 805 at Plaza. HOV lane's going to be shut down for maintenance until about 1 o'clock this afternoon, so you might see a little jam up there. In peak wildfire season, as a last resort, SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdge.com/PSPS. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, I've got some potentially good news, Padres fans, because as I'm looking at the projected pitching matchups for this 4-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers on ESPN, Not one left-hander in the bunch for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Pat Murphy should lose his job, to be honest.
What are they
I
doing?
mean, if you're the GM...
Then again, they just saw the Padres beat Ranger Suarez.
That's true.
So who knows?
Padres probably salivating for a lefty after beating Ranger Suarez. That is quite an accomplment.
I think they got one run off Ranger, though.
Yeah,
it's not exactly.
You didn't exactly take him to the woodshed.
Exactly. So tonight, Adam Mazier will make his fourth and final start for the San Diego Padres. I mean, maybe not forever, but I've got to imagine that Yu Darvish is coming back after his next turn in the rotation comes up. So he'll pitch against Bryce Wilson in a 6:40 start. We got Sammy Levitt with her 5:40 Eco Water SoCal pregame show tonight. Tomorrow, Dylan Cease will try to bounce back after his rough outing, his last time out in New York. He'll go up against former Padre Colin Ray in Game 2 of the series tomorrow night, also a 6:40 start. Saturday is a Fox Network game on at 4:15 start, so a bit of a different start time on Saturday. Randy Vasquez against Carlos Rodriguez. And then on Sunday, it'll be the daytime 1:10 start with Michael King against Tobias Myers. Don't know anything about Tobias Myers.
Nor do I.
Those are your pitching matchups for this series. Of course, Padres took 2 of 3 from the Brewers earlier this season in Milwaukee. Could have actually swept the series. That was one of those where they went into the last game with a chance for the sweep and couldn't pull it off as they got shut out 1-0 in the final game of that series in Milwaukee. But they did take the first 2 behind Dylan Cease and Joe Musgrove.
Who's up tonight? Who's throwing for them? Bryce Miller?
Pease.
Oh, Bryce Pease?
No, Wilson. Bryce Wilson. Bryce Pease is a quarterback.
Oh, boy, I said Bryce Miller.
Bryce Wilson. Bryce Miller's a columnist.
That's right.
He might be there.
He could be there.
And a pitcher for the Mariners.
Yeah, that's right. Wow.
This is Bryce Wilson. Spells it with an S. Bryse. Bryce. I mean, they're all right around, high 3 ERAs. Not bad. Don't know a ton about what the Padres are going to be facing. But that's why the Padres have, scouting reports and videos and stuff. We don't really need to get into the weeds on exactly who they're facing. But all right-handed starters for the series for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, my God. You all right over there?
The wrong hole.
Down the wrong pipe?
Yeah, I took the, not wrong hole, the wrong pipe. The right hole. The wrong pipe.
That would be right.
Yeah, I poured it up my nose.
Pouring water down your ear.
Oh,
God,
no.
I am parched.
Hang on. I need a minute.
Oh, all right. Just take your time. How's that Angels batting order looking for you over there?
Angels batting order. Right hole, wrong pipe. And I knew it right when it happened. I do apologize for that. Matt says I forgot how to human. I did.
Morales with a home run. Vladimir Guerrero had key hits along the way. And the Angels batting order.
Yes.
Angels batting order
Right.
just excuse me.
Drink of water.
Wore out the
That's what
Red
you
Sox
did.
pitching staff.
That was
Maybe he did get a drink of water.
No,
Went down the wrong
I told
hole.
you that was. I know exactly what that was. It's happened to me. It's peanut skin, nut skin, in his throat. Hacksaw had nut skin in his throat, and that's what happened. He has a thing of Planters peanuts next to him. He had some. He had to come back from break, and a piece of the nut skin got caught in his throat.
That would be the worst food to have with you just on a radio show. Just nuts.
Are we back?
Unshelled. Just toss the shells on the floor. Every shell. You're left with a giant
brain
pile
cramp.
of peanut shells.
Some intern's gonna come and sweep up your crap. Are you guys like me? When you go to a ball game,
you feel guilty.
Yes, every
absolutely.
time. Like, I really like peanuts at a ball game. I do. I like peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I like it. And you never get enough peanuts in the Cracker Jacks. Never once.
I sometimes don't get any at all. They're like gone from the Cracker Jacks.
And here's the thing, I love the combo, but you can't pour all of the Cracker Jacks out, get the nuts that are filtered to the bottom, and then do it. You can't. But I like to get peanuts and Cracker Jacks, mix them together. But throwing those I feel like a cretin. I'm like, when is this okay? Why is this okay here? I'm like, hey, here's my garbage.
It's one of those, we've always done it.
I know, Paulie. I need There's no way around it.
Is that a future development where there's a little garbage can at the end of every aisle and you just toss your own stuff at the end of the
But like a garbage can is
game?
What do you do with, you get a bag of peanuts and you don't want to litter, per se. Somebody's got to clean that up.
It's biodegradable, as you said earlier.
It's not, but they don't just leave it. No. Can you imagine you go to a Friday night game, everyone leaves their peanut shells?
Well, well, maybe you haven't, but when you cover the team, you sometimes are there for an hour after the game. They get the blowers out, and they basically just blow it all to the end of the aisle and then sweep it up and take it away and get ready for the next game. That's why it's always pristine when you arrive.
Well, it's always pristine, but here's the thing. Like, I do always feel bad taking a bag of peanuts, cracking the shell and throwing it on the ground. Like, who does that?
What would you do at your home?
I don't know. I don't think I would eat peanuts at home like that. I buy the peanuts in a tin, and I eat a handful of them.
I'd probably lay out like a large paper towel, and then as I'm cracking them, put the shells in the paper towel, and then just wrap it up at the end.
So you're telling me you're going to eat peanuts
like
at home and standing on the island in your kitchen
or
eating
sitting
peanuts.
on a stool on the island and eating peanuts would be a good spot for it.
Sitting on a stool at the island.
With a paper towel.
I would maybe.
Very people eat in-shell peanuts at home.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's really ballpark, and that's about it.
Now, this is a good point here. Drunk Padre says, what about sunflower seeds? I got no problem spitting my seeds out at a baseball game that I'm playing in. None. Zero. Why?
Remember Gumgate a few years ago? Which player was it from the Mets who was spitting his gum all over left field?
Yeah. And there was like little...
just
pieces
of gum all over the field.
Yeah,
or was it an umpire who was doing it?
I think it was an umpire.
Might have been an umpire who was doing it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Monsters.
Isn't that weird? I couldn't care less. If I'm playing ball on Sunday, I will get some seeds. I'll spit the seeds out at that high school field. I will not feel bad about
Tim's
it.
got a trash can for his pistachios right there, just right into the trash can.
I eat pistachios, got a trash can right here for the shells. Huh. You can spit out sunflower shells. You don't spit out peanut shells. That's true. But they're both shells.
But the shells are the easy thing to clean up. M. McKee says nacho cheese, like that spills. That's a real mess. Then you need the power washers.
What if you just ate half a hot dog? You don't just throw it on the ground.
You kind of do, though. I mean, you maybe wrap it back up in the paper, but you put it back in the ground, not at the game.
Yes, you do. You don't clean up yourself after the game?
No. I leave everything under the seats.
Oh, this is a round table topic. You're a monster.
I thought that's what you were supposed to do. They don't have trash cans right there.
You know who would do that? My 6-year-old would leave everything
this is
there.
a topic for tomorrow.
No, this is a topic for the round table.
Do you clean up after yourself in a baseball game?
This is the first question of the round table.
Coming up next.
You're monstrous.
Be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. here on 97.3 The Fan.